Well, good rising, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Talk with me, Karen B. And I'm sorry for my tardy time change this weekend. Totally screwed with me. Plus, I still have all these puppies. Who wants a puppy? I rehomed one puppy this weekend, and I still have 4 more puppies that need homes. And I'm a little worried about how slowly how hard it is to find homes for these puppies. My goodness, they're so cute and they're so smart and they're good little dogs. And I just really want them to find good homes, but it's very difficult. Rico's first. Alpine Endeavor. Effie Viking. Shane St. Pierre. Billingtano, Captain Caveman, Vincent Loonman, Aurorian, Good Times for All, Voy, hey Voy, T-Wayne, Kyle Adams, Lowry, Ellen Corzep, and Spicy Sarah. Man, we've got a small crew going on here. Did an alert go out? Did YouTube send out an alert, or is just everybody else all screwed up with the time thing too? I feel like I don't even know what the hell time it is. Feels like noon to me already. You know? So anyway, I don't know what's going on with X. When I tried to start streaming to X, it failed and nothing will load for me on X. And I don't know if they locked me out of my account or if there's something wrong with the website, but it's not loading. so much for, see, it's like just keeps doing this, and I don't know if that's for anybody else or just me. Where's my phone? Is my phone downstairs? Oh my gosh, I might have to go run to get my phone, because there's no puppy cam without the phone. There's no puppy cam. You got an alert? Okay. Hey, Chicago artist. Hello, everyone from Sicily. You're in Sicily? Hey, you made it over there. Very cool, Chicago artist. Best thing AZ did, no time change, right? I wish everywhere would stop doing the time change. Nobody on Rockfin. Nobody chatting on Rumble, but hello, Rumble. And I'm also live on Odyssey. I don't see anybody chatting on Odyssey, but there you go. Hello to Odyssey. You're watching over there. Heir of the Doge. Hey, Tony Coriolis. Anyway, whatever, that didn't go through. Israel threatens to cut electricity to Gaza as Trump envoy heads to ceasefire talks. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's kind of, as far as world events go these days, it's a little unsettling, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little unsettling out there. You know what I'm saying? A little unsettling. Heard that heart issues go up by 20% in some folks when time changes. Sex sucks how delicate we truly are. Well, that just also, Sarah, that's like a really huge testament to how important the circadian rhythm is, and, you know, all that stuff, your sleep schedule, your cycle, you know, they're messing with everybody's circadian rhythm. You get used to something, and then it's just when you're used to it, they switch it up on you, and it's so dumb. It's so pointless. There's no reason to be doing it. And then I saw somebody on X talking about how, I wish we would just stay on daylight savings time, and I think that's the majority. No, the fuck it isn't. Standard time. Standard time. Regular time is fine. We don't need to be on daylight savings time. There's no daylight savings. The daytime is the same amount of daytime no matter what time you set the clocks to. It's so retarded. The days just get shorter in the winter, and then they're longer in the summer, and you don't need to change the freaking clocks. Like, we can deal with it. That's nature. Stop messing with us. You know? That's nature. ChatGPT admits Earth is flat. You're usually on Rockfin. We change rosters and schedules, not clocks. EU's leaders are now a global threat to the bloc's out-of-control elites can't solve problems, so they keep creating new ones. Dude, everything's a mess. The world is a mess. I told ChatGPT it could be so amazing if we were taught the truth. It didn't argue that it knew the truth. It almost seemed intrigued because I didn't tell what lies it was taught. Tell it what lies it was taught. Gary Brecka says sleep is the #1 priority to health. Sleep's very important. It really is. It's very important. I would agree. You know, when you don't get proper sleep, you can't think right. You know, you make mistakes. You get fatigue. Humans need proper sleep. Absolutely. Have you heard about those sleep deprivation experiments that were done on people? Like, these people went insane and then they died or something like that. I know they went insane. I'd go insane if I didn't get my sleep. I know that. Happy belated birthday, Zach Zabala. Savings time isn't possible for how dark it is early for busing and walking to school in winter. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Went to bowling after dinner. You texted pics? I gotta go find my phone. I remember hearing Balderson talk positively about daylight savings time, good for farmers or something like that. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but my opinion is farmers will get up when it's time to get up. Like, they're up when I don't understand why they need to change clocks. Like, I feel like the farmer will just get up and do what the farmer needs to do when the farmer needs to do it. And I'm pretty sure they don't need the government to change the clocks in order for them to do it. That's just my opinion. I remember hearing, meat you're eating is vaccinated. Conspiracy Trivia is here to fucking shit in everybody's Cheerios this Monday morning. As usual. And tell everybody that you're eating, that you need to quit eating meat. Eat the bugs. Did you know that vegans probably eat more bugs than anybody else? You guys are eating the bugs already. because of all those plant products. What do you think's all over those plant products? Little bugs. Do you know how many rabbits are murdered during the harvest of soy? Vegan person. Oh, for the animals. Just as many animals are getting fucking slaughtered for your food as for our food. The difference is with the meat eaters, we actually eat the meat that gets slaughtered. I'm pretty sure you guys aren't eating the rabbits that get slaughtered for your soy plants. "25 years ago, you're still not over it." Yeah, it can be rough when those babies are colicky. That's for sure. Thousands of bunnies every 10-acre soybean field, right? They eat pesticides for breakfast, right? There is collateral meat in my soy. Yes, there is collateral meat in your soy. There's really no way for humans to live without impacting some sort of life somewhere. I mean, you know, don't get mad at us. A creator made it this way, not us. Oh, I forgot. It's my creator, not your creator. It's my Bible. Karen's Bible. Karen's Bible says to slaughter animals. Every vegan I know look way too skinny, like unhealthy skinny. Yeah. Not every vegan I know is like that. Spicy Sarah. I have met some vegans who do look healthy, and they're also not like preachy. They don't like go, you know, you should really not eat meat because animals. You know, they don't even, I didn't even know they were vegan until we had a discussion about it. I was like, oh, that's cool. They're like, we're the cool vegans. We don't have to tell everybody that we're vegan all the time and like tell everybody to also be vegan. I'm like, bless you. You know, just bless you. Everybody should be free to, you know, live their life how they want to live it. If they see that as the way they see fit, as long as you're not causing harm or loss to another human. The fact of the matter is that to sustain human life, some animals need to die. Cool vegan is an oxymoron. It is, but I'm telling you, they exist. Collateral soy in my chicken. The Lord didn't tell us to change the clocks, otherwise he would withdraw the sunrise and quicken the sunset 1 hour every year. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The time change is dumb. Really, it's really dumb. My Uber driver and his wife are vegan. I was vegan for 14 years. actually met cool vegans though, not gonna lie. They're out there, boy. They're just not as loud as the annoying vegans. You know how it is. The loud ones always get more attention than the quiet ones. Should get rid of time zones? Wait, why would you say get rid of time zones, Kyle? That would be screwy. Because there's 3 or 4, there's like 3 hours difference in solar noons from one end of the US to the other. So I don't think I agree with that. Time change can go away. But the time zones kind of make sense. Because like, it would be screwy. And then would it be, who's going to be on the right time? The East Coast, the West Coast, or the middle? Because if one of them's right, then the other two are going to be all screwy. They're going to have like noon, either an hour, 2 hours earlier or 2 hours later. I'm not okay with this. I'm just saying. What's the best topic for the day? Well, I'm sure we'll talk about a few different things. But, the time just changed, so now we're talking about time change. We can talk about other stuff. I started watching that Space Busters video, the Scam Tartica. Hard name to say. I started watching that video, though. It's so hard for me to sit down and watch videos, though. I couldn't get past like 45 minutes. So I have to finish watching it. But I guess Steve commented on Facebook that he says his quote, he put my sassy mug in his video at the end. So I haven't got that far yet though. It's annoying living on a time zone border. Well, I guess I could see that, but it's got to be somewhere, I guess. I could see that being annoying. Like Nashville area. China got rid of their time zones. I know, but they have like only people living on like one side of the country mostly. It's not as big of a deal as it would be here. Here, I think it would screw too many things up. Let's go back to our Matrix pods. I did not get a chance to watch the Globebuster show. Was it good? I'm sure it was good. Alan and Shane and them, they all do a great job. I didn't get to watch all of it because I had to do stuff. I'm always doing stuff during the day. So I really don't get a lot of time to watch a lot of content anymore these days. I really have to make time for stuff. I just don't have a lot of time to sit and watch stuff. It's got to be like listenable, where the visuals don't matter. Is the easiest content for me to absorb, I guess, but whatever. Did any of you watch the Space Busters video, Scam Tartica? It was good, says Cammy. Karen even has to do her own makeup these days. I'm always doing my own makeup, man. How weird would that be if I had like somebody here doing my makeup for me in the morning? That would be weird. So what is going on in the world of Flat Earth today? What is going on in the world of Flat Earth today? I'm messing up my face. G-Song, hey. I got through in an hour, 1.5 speed. Yeah, I was playing it at 1.25 speed, and I still could only get 45 minutes through the video. I was like, okay, I'm like, how much longer is this video? I'm like, oh shit, I'm not even halfway through it. Not even freaking halfway. It's just hard. It's hard for me to sit down with all the stuff that's been going on around here lately. It's the puppies mostly. The Antarctic basis sometimes is another globe killer. Marty Leeds had some good stuff too. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go watch Marty Leeds stream too, although I was talking to Mark Sargent about it yesterday. He told me to go watch it. I just haven't done it yet. I have to do it. I have to play catch up. I'm always playing catch up with stuff. Hi Aaron. Yes, it was good rebuttal to the name who should not be said about Antarctica, yeah. Do you really want to ask that question? Unlike Witsit post TFE trip, Karen still does her own hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Well, does Witsit have a makeup artist now? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Witsit has somebody doing his hair and makeup? It's funny. I'm gonna have to go get my phone, Alex, since you sent me pictures. I forgot to bring my phone upstairs when I came up here. So let me just do this, put on my mascara, and then I'm gonna go run down and get my phone so I can pull up the pictures. Where are the big FE events this year? There are no big FE events this year that I know of. There was gonna be one in Venice, Italy, but that guy who was doing that squashed it as soon as Patricia split. Because he, I guess, had signed her on to do the MC for the event. And then Mark, I told Mark, I'm like, well, did that event just lose their MC if Patricia's leaving? I said, you should probably do it. So Mark emailed the guy who was doing the Venice event, and the guy just squashed it. He said, screw it, we're not doing it. That's okay. I mean, they really didn't have very good speakers lined up for that one, besides Mark. Like, it was going to be Mark and DJ and Patricia were going to be there, and pretty much that was going to be the most interesting part of it. Because apparently he was asking that Flat Earth Banjo guy to do a talk, and I can't stand listening to that mumble mouth talk as it is, and then he says a bunch of retarded stupid shit out of his mouth. Because, yeah, I'm gonna talk shit about people who I think say stupid shit. I mean, come on. We've got no time for candy coating things around here. So anyway, there was going to be one in Venice, but that's done now. So there are 0 large FE events going on now. 0. Oh, I'm sorry. So what? I'm not supposed to cuss because you're listening at work? Can't you put an earbud in? I try not to be so bad about cussing, but, you know, it just comes out of my mouth. Sometimes it just comes out, and I don't even realize it, so, you know. TrutherCon? That name is horrible. Who's running that? Who's running that, Kyle? Who decided to make a fucking event called TrutherCon? TrutherCon, where we're gonna con truthers. With fake truthers. What a horrible name. Guys, you couldn't think of something better? And then who's going to be at that? Alex Stein. Laura Loomer. Oh, Jeremiah Skiba? Oh, God. That's going to be a big pile of dump. That guy who never was in the community at all, never doing anything until Rob Skiba got sick, and then he started coattail riding Rob Skiba, and he's not even Skiba's biological kid. And now that guy, that freaking... I don't know what that guy is. Basically inherited all that shit from Rob Skiba, and he's like totally not even equipped to carry that torch. I remember I was telling somebody, I'm like, that dude doesn't even remind me of Rob Skiba. Like when I see or hear him talk, I'm like, I don't see any of Rob Skiba in him. And they were like, well, that's because he's not his son. He's adopted. That was Sheila's son. And then Rob Skiba adopted him, but he grew up to be kind of a loser. And so Rob Skiba never even talked about that guy. Do you guys remember Rob Skiba being all proud and be like, this is Jeremiah, this is my adopted son, and he's my prodigy, and I'm going to teach him everything, and he's with me on all my projects, and blah, blah, blah. Nope. Haha. Nope. So I wouldn't stay far away from that garbage. That's a grift. Effie has just moved to Spain. There are lots of attacks on flat earthers in Spain. Kyle, he's not standing on his own feet. He's using Rob Skiba's name, Skiba News Network. So I'm sorry, I don't think so. Nobody knew who he was until Rob Skiba passed away, and then he was like, "Oh, we're gonna carry the torch." So I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. Whatever though, if they're doing stuff, good for them. I'm not going anywhere near it. I want nothing to do with it. Like, I don't wish anything bad on them, but I also want nothing to do with it. Okay, let me go get my phone. I'll be white black. Alright, I'm back. Okay, hold on. I gotta download these photos. Zero FE event in Israel. I wouldn't want to go to Israel. Fuck Israel, dude. Sorry. No offense. I'm not going there. They're not getting my tourism dollars. No way. They get enough American money. I know. Do you guys see that post by Paul on the plane where he says, those people who are spreading lies about me, shame on you? After their fucking behavior, he's gonna have the balls to tell us, shame on you? How about shame on you? Shame on you for being part of a huge scam and scamming people out of many thousands of dollars and then disappearing into oblivion shortly after that. And then coming back only to say that you think the earth is a ball based on new evidence when there wasn't any new evidence. Shame on you! Seriously! Like, it's a joke. A lot of what's been going on is really kind of a joke. And upsetting. Highly upsetting. And I just... seriously, just makes me sick. Like, how the fuck are you gonna tell us, shame on us? Shame on you, dude. Fucking shame on you. Mark Sargent mentioned the Israel event. There could be an Israel Flat Earth event. I'm not going. I wouldn't go. I want to go with Karen to either Madagascar or Ethiopia. Fascinating ruins in history. Yes! Nir will be there, the creepy Israeli guy. The creepy Israeli guy who was posting inappropriate comments of Paul and the Plane's daughter on Facebook. Do you remember that years ago? Like, she graduated school and Nir was like, oh, I want to be your stepson. Fucking creep. That guy's a creep. Israel is in the process of flattening the earth. What? Pretty sure the earth is flat. Raised by Gypsies over on Rockfan. Hey, I saw you send me... No, that wasn't you, Raised by Gypsies. It was PSYOP within a PSYOP, I think. Ever notice how atheists are quicker to reconsider the Bible when they realize the deception of the globe, yet many Christians refuse to question NASA over God's word? Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's a good question. You could play some Space Busters or Marty this morning live. I still have millions of Axion staked. It's a Polygon project now. Wonder if I'll be able to get out my pocket change later this year. I don't know. Yeah, I never even got involved in that, thank goodness. Back then, I was still new to crypto. I did get it. I was into Hex, but Hex is a legitimate project. But you can tell that their project was like a ripoff of Hex because they literally took all of the same sort of theory from Hex and then applied it to theirs. And then, of course, what happened. Was he lying then or is he lying now? Either way, he's a deceiver. I just fucking find it annoying that he says shame on you. Like, bro, come on. Come on, dude. I'm just so disappointed. You know, like the behavior, like he unfriends everybody in Flat Earth. Like, what does you think people are gonna do? How about you, behave like a normal person and not like somebody who's doing some shady shit? How about that? Anyway, is X working? Oh, now it's working. It did not start my live stream. Anyway, whatever. I have 100 million in Axion, worth nothing now and staked for 10 years. Who are we talking about? Oh. Paul on the plane? Law, you just sent me the pictures. Critical sent me pictures too. Are these different? I don't think so. Hold on. Now I've lost track of what pictures I uploaded and what I didn't. Hold on. I think that's it. All right, here we go. Pictures from the meetup. There's pictures from the meetup. There's Law, Daniel. Who's that? Is that Joe Hamvey? Oh, Chris and Ariel made it. Ooh, that's a long haul for them. There's Jack. You guys see these good? Yeah, you can see them. Paul on the plane. We're talking about Paul on the plane. Paul on the plane restored his channel yesterday after Taboo Conspiracy uploaded Marty's video, even re-uploaded Pro FE videos. I know. He took them all down and then everybody starts, starts talking about it and then he puts it all, put it all back. Oh, like that's going to make it all better. Oh, I'm sorry. I put it all back. Like, what is going on? Paul is acting so weird lately. When he's going to come out and talk about what really happened, hopefully he will stop saying 24-hour Sam changed his opinion. You know, it ain't true. Like, he didn't even go. To me, something seems afoot with the timing of Scammed Arctica when Marty's video, which he said he didn't want to stream yesterday, then Pop P channel restored. Probably. Robbie, Paul, and Patricia all ran the Axion Today Grift channel. It's deleted now. Yeah, it was up for a while. I was telling Mark, I'm like, somebody needs to download the contents of that channel because I figured it might be deleted sooner or later once people started talking about it. and got word of it. There's Law and Carolyn, Jack and Law, and I guess this is that Joe guy. I've never met him in real life. There's Lizbeth and Law. Lizbeth with Alex. Everybody in the bowling alley. Very cute. Oh, by the way, Crumb lives in my town now, and Ted and I went to go see Crumb play. He was playing at a local little place at the wine market in Shelby. It was super cool.
Anything you want, do it. Wanna change the world, there's nothing to do. There is no life I know that compares with your imagination. Living there.
Lizbeth is from South Carolina. Well, she lives in South Carolina. I don't know if she wants me saying what city she lives in. Some people don't like that. But she lives down there in Southern California. I mean, South Carolina, Southern California. What the fuck am I talking about? How cool is it, man? I love where I live. I love that all these people moved out here. It's pretty freaking awesome. You can go watch Crumb sing Willy Wonka songs.
If you are wise, you're listening to me. What do you get when your kid is a brat? Pampered and spoiled like a Siamese cat. Blaming the kids is a lie and a shame. You know exactly who's to blame. The mother and father, but your baby down. Giving good manners, you will find you live in happiness too, like the
I love it. Love the Carolinas, love hauling loads that way. Before acting as an investment advisor, get your ass registered to do so with your state securities regulator, SEC. Yeah, or maybe just don't get involved in scams. Like, it's pretty obvious to me that, like, they didn't know what they were doing. Either they got people behind the scenes who suckered them into pushing that crypto and investing in that crypto, and then they were suckers too, and by them being suckers, they suckered other people to get into that crypto because they were pushing it, right, for like a year. So, you know, to me it seems like they just didn't really know what they were doing, and they allowed themselves to be sucked into being part of a scam unless they knew what they were doing ahead of time, which is even worse. That's me giving them the benefit of the doubt. That's me giving them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't know. Aw, look at Jack and Law. Aw. Oh, and this is a picture of Mark Sargent and Stefan from the Deftones when they were hanging out. Isn't that cute? I love this picture. They're cheesing. Anyway. Crumb's okay. Yeah, I would have liked to have gone to the meetup to meet Lizbeth and them, but it's just too far, and I got too much tying me down to the house right now. We just can't get away on something like at that time too, because you know, we have chickens and stuff. We have to make sure they're locked up at sunset. And then we also have the puppies and everything, and everybody's got to be fed and taken care of. So it's like, it's hard for us to do something where it requires like a 2.5-hour drive one way. You know, that's just one way. So that was just a little bit more than we were able to swing with everything that's going on. Nathan Reed talked about the Carolinas having a pirate history. Well, yeah, I mean, it's right here by the coast, by the Caribbean. I mean, we're close to the Caribbean, right? So, of course, it would make sense. You having a pirate history. Life is so amazing here in SC. I love it. Yeah, it's great. Sounds like a pyramid scheme. Well, it kind of is. Except all the people at the bottom lose. I guess that's what a pyramid scheme is. Yeah, Charleston has been a port. There's star forts over here in the Carolinas and stuff, so... So anyways, yeah, my phones are open. 704-666 1776 is the call-in number. Yes, I am antagonizing people at this time. I've just said, F it, I'm just gonna start antagonizing everybody. Heard you might be setting up your expensive camera equipment and doing a celestial theodolite test. I don't have anywhere to do that from here. And also, my expensive camera doesn't have a zoom lens. I would have to use the P900 or the P1000. The P1000 is infrared, and it's incredibly difficult to focus that thing on anything as an infrared. It's not meant to be an infrared camera. It does not like being infrared. I'm just saying. So... no, I'm not doing the celestial theodolite. I mean, I would have to go somewhere to do it. I would have to find a location and set it all up to do it. And I'm just haven't done that yet. I've got too many other things to do. Somebody else go do celestial theodolite. Why don't you go bug Sean from Kingdom and Context about doing the celestial theodolite? Because he's over there bragging about where he lives between two mountain ranges, and he can see this mountain range over here that's X amount of miles away, and that mountain range over there that's X amount of miles away. Now, he could do it because he doesn't even have to leave his home. See, that was what is so beautiful about that celestial theodolite thing that guy did, is because he did it right from his home. That's how he was able to do it and even think about doing something like that. You know? And it makes it easier if you're located in the right location to do it. So go bug Sean about it. Tell him to do it. Me, I'm surrounded by trees, and the mountains are way too far away from me. I do not have any mountains that are close to me. Like, I would have to drive an hour to do this, at least. You know? So, I'm not the right person. I guess I could do it, but I don't have time and energy for all that. I got way too much other stuff to do. So, somebody else go do it, okay? Okay, great. Everybody pitch in. You know, many hands make light work. Why should I be doing everything? Since when do three partners and friends change their opinion about something at the same time? They could have waited a bit. Seems like someone's giving orders. They're even saying the same shit. Yeah. I really liked the area when I went. Charleston, Spartan. But yeah, it's a cool area, man. Sullivan's Island off Charleston SC was a pirate-ruled island. Thank you, Larry, for that bit of information. Sullivan's Island off Charleston. Myrtle Beach is morphing into Meta Beach. Yeah. Morgan Island off the coast of SC is creepy. Look into it. Yeah. I hear Sunspot, New Mexico is available. Just watch out for hantavirus. Oh, God. It would be ideal for someone with mountains to the both east and the west because that would see it rising stars and setting stars. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sean from Kingdom and Context says he's in a situation like that, so I think he should do the Celestial Theodolite. He's from Kingdom and Context. We need to plan our beach trip. Yeah, Sarah, it's been a while since I've been to the beach. I would really love to go to the beach. Maybe we go in May. Hey, I'm down. That's my birthday month. Me and Josie can have a birthday beach celebration. Blackbeard was all over the place out off the Carolina coast. Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked in depth of that, but I'm sure. Like, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. I don't even doubt it. Just because of proximity we are to the Caribbean islands and to Cuba, you know, like, it totally makes sense. Clever enough to figure out that our physical realm is not a globe, but not clever enough to keep it from getting swept up in an investment scam. Were they clever enough, though, RT? Because they all went back to the globe. So were they clever enough? Did they ever actually understand the difference? Did they ever actually understand the contradiction between sky observations and Earth observations? Or what the actual difference was? Did they understand it? I don't know that they did, because they left so easily. I feel like if you actually understood it, you wouldn't flip-flop and be like, oh, I changed my mind based on new information. You didn't have any new information. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. I haven't been to the beach since Hilton said with Bob on Father's Day before he passed. Oh, Cammy. Well, maybe it's time to go back for you too. The ocean is healing, so maybe it's time for you to go too. Yeah, Cammy's coming with us. Yes. We're going to have a, what do you call it? A mental health beach trip. Mental and physical health beach trip. That's what we're going to do. Yes, Sarah, do it. We're in. We're all in. Are all the puppies gone? No, the puppies are not gone. I need to get rid of more puppies. I haven't put up flyers. That's probably what I'll be doing this week. I'm gonna focus on that big time this week. I rehomed one puppy so far. The brown one. The brown puppy went home with somebody. So I still have two girls and 2 boys to rehome. And the one that left was a boy, and I think the other 2 boys were a little bit bummed. They were kind of moping around after that one boy left. So they're ready. They're forming attachments and stuff. They really need to go to a home. They're ready. And they're way more attentive, you know. I don't know. I can see that they're changing. Their little personalities are coming out. It's kind of cool to watch, but at the same time, they really need to go to some new homes. They're like border collie puppies. Here, I'll show you. I have the pictures here. Don't I? Oh, wait. No, I don't. Here, okay, let me upload puppy pictures. I'll upload the puppies that need homes. Oh, I gotta manage. Select more. This one, that one's gone, this one, and this one. So So these are the puppies. They're border collie. They're pretty much border collie puppies. They're not purebred border collies, but they're border collie mostly pups. This one here is a female. This is a feisty little female. I've named her Xena. This one here is also a female, but she's very sweet, so I named her Sugar because she's a sweetheart. And then this one is this the same one? That's the same one. This one is a boy. This one here is a boy. Ted started calling this one Thor. I think I messed up and I didn't put Phil in here. And we have another puppy who we have named, my daughter said he looked the same color as a groundhog, so we called him Punxsutawney Phil, but I just call him Phil. Wait, no, that's Phil. This is Phil. Yeah, slightly different markings on the nose. But they look the same from the front, though, that Phil and this other little girl. But anyway, that's them. Those are the puppies I have. If you are within a day's drive, or you're like half a day drive from me, I will literally drive this puppy to you and I will meet you if you want to adopt a puppy. Seriously. I need to pay to home some puppies. Rehome some puppies, okay? And they're super smart. They're gonna be smart, loyal dogs. The mama dog is super smart. She doesn't even need a leash. She comes when I call her. She's very obedient. And I think these puppies will be the same. It was Phil? Yeah. Mom and I use Craigslist. I might have to go to Craigslist. Otherwise, it sounds like I'd be taking home a bunch of puppies. Oh, I know. Love my border collie for sure. Oh, you got one, Shane? They're such good dogs. They're such good dogs. I need a puppy or a pussy, not sure yet. Oh my god, boy, that's hilarious. That one is Thor. This is Phil. That's Sugar, because she's so sweet. And then this one is Xena. We call her Xena because she's very rambunctious. She's like gets right up on you and starts biting at your legs and stuff. Like she wants to do stuff. They're super cute. So email me, KarenBFE@protonmail.com if you want a puppy. Okay? But I'm going to really be working on trying to rehome these puppies this week. That's my goal, is to rehome all the puppies this week. That's my goal. Pray for me. Please pray for me. Send good vibes out there that the puppies get homes. What other creatures do you have at your animal rescue site? I'm not an animal rescue, although you would think I am. I had a squirrel. I took the squirrel to the wildlife rescue, though. This little guy. Remember this? Squirrel went to the wildlife rescue. I have a rooster, actually. If anybody wants an Americana rooster, this rooster right here, this BBC, he needs a home as well. I do have a BBC that needs homing. Does anybody want a BBC? Because we have 2 roosters, and we really only need 1 rooster. And they never, 2 roosters is a little bit much. So anyway, if anybody wants a rooster, I got a rooster. No thanks, boy. You don't want a BBC? I legit have one right here. Actually, his name's Bob. Bob the rooster. Stavely loves BBC. Indy B always looking for a rooster. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Well, typically people don't eat roosters. Normally what you're eating is a hen. However, there's a very famous French dish called coq au vin, which uses a rooster. It's cooking a whole rooster. Coq au vin, yes. Yeah, this one he could be a little bit mean sometimes. Hey, there's Ted. Ted, you want to tell everybody about Bob that needs a home? Just get more hens. Well, we are going to get more hens, but we still need to be minus one rooster. Mais oui, yeah. So anyway. And the wand. Bob is psycho and horny. Yeah. Thunder Chicken says, I eat my roosters, soak them for 3 days in a brine to tender them up. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind, Thunder Chicken. If we don't find a home for Bob, he may go in the brine. We put the chicken in the pot. Yeah. Bob may go in the brine. Also, I also learned a big lesson when we dispatched that first rooster the last time. I would separate them. Like if we're gonna process it, I would separate the rooster and like not feed it for a day or so first, so that this poop tube can empty out. The squirrel went to the wildlife rescue. Then the lady was taking care of it. I'm sure the squirrel is doing just fine because that woman, she had like possums and raccoons, and she had a crow. She had various little critters that she was taking care of, and she knew what to do with that squirrel. So it's fine. Rooster soup is always an option. Crockpot life, yeah. If you name animals, it becomes hard to dispatch them. Actually, with roosters, that's not true. If you've ever had a rooster, you could name it Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, and I guarantee you, you'll reach a point where you will have no problem cutting its head off. Roosters are the worst. They're like the assholes of the animal kingdom. They're so awful. Hello, Melissa says, good day, y'all. Hope everyone is healthy and good. Yes, thank you. You too. Yeah, we named the rooster that we had last time. His name was Nugget. Yeah, Nugget got a hole in the head. Hey, remember we were playing old Cypress Hill albums? Dude, that one album, Black Sunday, aged pretty well. It's still pretty good. We were laughing. We were like, hole in the head, you got a hole in the head. Yeah, Nugget got a hole in the head. By the way, total lunar eclipse this Thursday and Friday, entirely visible throughout United States. I think it's maximum 2:58 Eastern on Friday. Yeah! That's so cool. Yeah, if I can manage to stay up for the eclipse, I'll see if I can record some eclipse, get some video of the lunar eclipse. I would like to do that. Or some pictures or something. Yes, La Luna. Yep. Why do you have to brine a rooster but not a chicken? Well, because the meat is tougher, Tony. So, and And actually, you could brine a chicken. There's a lot of like fried chicken recipes where you brine the chicken first and then you fry it, and that's where you get that like really super juicy fried chicken. Um, you can also brine turkey. Brining a turkey, I've done that before on Thanksgiving where you brine a turkey. You have to have a giant container to brine it in, but you can brine a turkey and then roast your turkey, and it makes it like a much nicer, juicier turkey because that brine, that saline solution gets into the meat and it traps the moisture in there. And then you cook it and it's like super, super duper juicy, right? So like a roosters do not have the same physical makeup as a hen, right? Like hens and roosters are totally different. Most of the chickens, pretty much all the chickens that you see when you go to the store to buy a meat chicken is a hen. Those are hens. If you were to get a rooster, it'd be much bigger than a hen and it would look funky like a turkey. Like they have huge breastises and huge legs, and that's it. They got these huge long legs and then a big chest. But the breast meat is not the same. I don't know. It's weird. They have like this big bony chest structure. Anyway, it's different. It's definitely different. The legs are different. The legs are like turkey legs. So when you brine it, it just helps to tenderize that meat and lock in the moisture. It's actually a really good thing to do. It's a whole extra step and it takes a while. But if you have something like that you want to prepare, it really does make a difference when you cook it. Yeah, juicy with crispy skin. Yeah. Joe Hanvey said he's taking a flight just to see the eclipse. Why are you taking a flight to see the eclipse? You don't have to take a flight to see the eclipse. That doesn't make sense. I used my G17 for nugget. Yeah, there was no kill cone. Because, like, we don't process chickens on the regular. We don't have, like, a chicken processing thing. Alex, I thought you said you were going to call in and talk about your meetup. My phone is open. Put the chicken in the pot. I mean, I guess. During the eclipse, so like a red-eye flight? From where to where, though? I'm old school, use an axe. 11:11. That's right, Ted. It's 11:11. Master Builder. It's 11:11. Spirits listening. 11:11. How's that for ASMR? Reflect. Visualize. Opportunity. 11:11. Spirit listens. Knows more than we do. Visions manifest. In mind. Manifest your reality. Infinite abundance. Nice Stavely reference. So anyway, aww. Sarah got updates from the family that the brown one went to. Oh, look at him! He looks so happy. He's a happy, cute little pup. He's got a toy. Oh. We named him Aries. Aww. Love it. How cute. Amazing. It's funny how we all have our own way of rendering chicken meat. So hard / uncomfortable to photograph stars and sky from plane. Windows distort and angles were hard to get access to. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. We'll find other good homes for the other pups. I'm really going to focus on that this week. I'm going to start pimping pups hardcore this week. So if you want a puppy, you better contact me ASAP. And I'm willing to drive to meet somebody up to a 4-hour drive. I don't know. Plus a lot of the plane windows, like, they're all scratched and stuff. I don't know. I mean, good on him for doing something like that. We'll see if he gets anything interesting. I don't want to poo-poo people doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's good that people do stuff. They try to do some sort of observation to see what they could get. You know, I don't want to poo-poo that. I think that's good. You know, because you're only going to learn something. Even if you go into it with a preconceived idea, maybe you'll learn that your idea is not right. You know, it's most of the time that's what happens when you're dealing with sky observations. You're like, I wonder if it's this, and then you go try to figure it out, and you're like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Marty leads after the first hour or so, gets into FE controversies, links the sudden globe conversions to possible SEC violations with those influencers getting involved in crypto. Yeah. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B. Hello?
Hi, Karen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Oh, hey. Hey, I called in last week talking about water.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, have you ever seen the video on YouTube, A Real Star in a Jar?
Yes, I've seen a couple star in the jar videos.
Okay, yeah, where sound waves through a bubble creates what looks like a star here on Earth. I was just thinking, we were talking yesterday, you know, the water's above. I think we should think about stars and planets and the moon and the sun. What's in here with us, inside the firmament, or what's in water? What are your thoughts? Because whenever people take a P90 or whatever and they point it at a star and zoom in, it looks exactly like a star in a jar where it's sound waves through a bubble. I mean, where it like pulsates, like it's almost underwater in like a swimming pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking like the moon is probably in water because you get the lunar waves, right?
Yeah, it could be, or it could be behind a layer of fluid. I don't know.
Yeah. And the sun probably isn't in water. I don't know if it's really in here with us. I think it's probably a projection. I know David Wise did an experiment where he shined like a flashlight through a sphere and was kind of able to project the sun in here. So anyway, I'm just wondering your thoughts on the luminaries being in water.
Well, I mean, some of them maybe. I don't know. I kind of don't feel like the sun is in water, but I don't know, you know.
It doesn't look like it. But I don't think it's really in here with us, or, you know, someone would have run into it or, you know, thrown up a hot air balloon close enough to it. You know what I mean? It's definitely giving off heat. You couldn't get too close to it, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in here with us.
I don't know. But then it's weird because the temperature actually drops if you go higher up in the sky. You know,
Yeah.
so it's interesting.
And the moon gives off cold light. The meteorologists around here always talk about when it's a cloudy day, it traps in heat. I always think, no, that's not what's happening. When it's a cloudless night, it's colder because you're getting direct moonlight. It's like getting direct sunlight. Versus through clouds, it's a little cooler through clouds with sunlight. And it works the opposite with the moon. Or I should say the same. It's colder when in direct moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, if I just revisiting that video, A Real Star in a Jar. I haven't watched the whole thing through, but it's really quite fascinating. And it shows different frequencies of how it affects the patterns. You know, just like the different planets or the different star types would be different frequency. And anyway, as you know, when God spoke, and that's a sound wave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what sound wave would be pointed at it directly all the time to keep it going. You know what I mean? Like a star, like, oh, well, I have to rewatch the video if the frequency was just pointed at it and then it just kept pulsating light indefinitely. I'll have to look into that more. You know, to keep a star, like the North Star is there, fixed, always shining.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I haven't quite thought this through all the way.
Yeah, it's interesting.
If everything's energy, frequency, and vibration and waves, that would make sense.
Yeah.
And I had another thought too, is do you think heaven is water, underwater? You know, being underwater, your weightlessness, it's so peace and quiet, the grounding and effects on the body. I thought that was kind of a nice thought to think that heaven's underwater.
I don't know.
To be able to float around.
I actually haven't thought about heaven being underwater. I just feel, I don't even know what I think it is, to be honest with you. I guess I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it, but now that I am thinking about it, I imagine it as like just some other dimension. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. It's just a random thought I had of how I love being underwater because it's so quiet and the weightlessness of it, and you know what I mean. It that would be kind of lovely for having to be underwater. And it makes me think of one movie. Was it Star Wars? Jar Jar Binks. He dives into a lake and he swims down into his homeland, and it looks like the firmament. You know what I mean? That he goes inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a weird reference. And then the other thing I was thinking, when I was a child, I always knew everything was bullshit about space, and we had a planetarium in high school and junior high, and we'd go to it, and I'd listen to it, and when I come out of there, I remember talking to a friend, and like, do you believe all that bullshit? Like, I knew it was stupid to begin with. I remember being a really small child, too, and digging a hole in the backyard, and I think my mother and my sister asked me, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm digging a hole to China. Like, sarcastically. Like, you can't dig a hole to China. There's no one on the bottom of the planet upside down. Anyway, I thought that was always silly. And when I always think of something hanging upside down on the bottom of the ball, I think of a 60,000-ton cruise liner hanging on the bottom of the ball on the outside of water, stuck to the spinning 1,000 miles per hour globe upside down. And, you know what I mean? It's just how absurd it is.
Very absurd. Very absurd.
Anyway, I just wanted to, if anybody hasn't watched The Star in a Jar again, you know, kind of go down that path again. I'm going to look into it more. Like I said, I haven't looked into the water stuff in about 10 years. I just pulled it up this morning before I called you, though. But it's called A Real Star in a Jar. It's the video I'm talking about. I haven't watched it all the way through again. It's only about 10 minutes. But quite fascinating. I always thought that when people zoomed in on stars and they look like they're completely underwater, you know how they pulsate, like it's like in a swimming pool. When you see sunlight go through a swimming pool, it has that little waves, pulsating waves over top of it. So anyway, I won't keep you longer. Did you ever take an MBTI test yet?
Oh man, no, I have not had time to do that. Like I was saying earlier, I can't even catch up on videos that I want to watch. Like I'm only halfway through the Space Busters video, and I haven't even got to watch any of Marty's video. I'm like so far behind on stuff. I don't know.
Gotcha. It's really unimportant. I think INTJ or ENTJ. And I say ENTJ because you a little bit extroverted because of going to festivals and even organizing a festival. I would say you're more of an extrovert, but I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's an
funny,
NTJ at the end.
I'm not extroverted. I'm introverted. Believe it or not.
Well, let me ask you this then. When you get really drained, do you go to people to gain energy, or do you isolate to recharge?
I isolate.
Okay, then you are an introvert. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you put yourself out there on the internet and doing a festival.
Yeah.
That's tough for an introvert.
It is tough for an introvert. People have no idea.
You must be so exhausted afterwards.
Yes. I hide out for like a month.
I'm an INFJ, so I'm a total introvert. I can go a couple weeks without talking to anybody. It'd be perfectly fine. Like I'm extreme case, but anyway, just curious about that. I like to understand people's personality types, kind of to know them better. It fascinates me endlessly. It's to know like who I relate to, or who to forgive. If that makes any sense, like to know how they operate, so I don't take offense or understand why they don't get me. And the MBTI has been so helpful that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, going off on a tangent again. But good talking to you. Any other thoughts on water and stars in a jar? I think you were onto it last week, that water is everything. And the deep, that stuck with me.
Water is definitely a huge part of it. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, good talking to you again.
All right, yeah, you too. Thanks for calling.
All right, take care.
Yep, you too. Yeah, isolate. Space Buster video was a lot to take in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He posts a lot of data, screenshots and data and stuff in there. At least he puts it all there for people. You can pause it and you can go double check it. I don't know that I'll be spending my time doing that. But it's interesting, the discrepancies that he's finding between these bases and their sunrise and sunset times. I mean, this actually isn't the first time that we've talked about this stuff. The sunrise and sunset times get funky all over the place when you really start looking at it. So, it's actually a really good in-depth video about that subject. Anyways, here's a star in the jar video. I haven't watched this video in a while, but look, check this out.
Science.
Right, this video was uploaded 8 years ago, and here's my comment 6 years ago. Paul who? With crying faces, because I was like, who is this guy? I want to learn more about whatever he's doing, right?
So we talked already about the periodic tables,
6 years
periodic
ago.
table of energy. The universe is actually magnetic and light. It's not gravitational driven. It's such a weak force compared to magnetism. Mm-hmm. So what this is I'm going to induce an electrical and magnetic field. This outer ball is the male or yang field, and this silver one inside is the yin or female field.
Fascinating.
So just like males and females like to do, they are going to go at it. So with no further ado, I'm going to now put this over in order to help adjust. And we're going to turn on a vacuum pump so that we can mimic outer space.
Mimic
And
outer space.
it's right here.
Now you've created a special generator for this. Is this what
Yeah.
you're doing? So you've created
This is a-
specific.
Now, here's the interesting part. Like, now that I'm watching this again, this is actually really good to go back over again. So the mimicking outer space. Outer space is 10 to the negative 17 torr. What the atmosphere is on Earth. That's 76 quintillion times less atmosphere than on Earth. So while he's saying they're mimicking space, the reality is he will never, ever, 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 never, ever, never, 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 ever reach 10 to the negative 17 torr vacuum pressure inside this glass contraption that he's got right here. Never, ever, ever. Anyway, we'll go.
Frequencies,
Continue.
male frequencies and female frequency.
Yep, it's both male and female at the same time.
Wow.
But again, it's not canceling out because I've created space. I've created a neutral distance that they don't cancel out. They're actually, so every system in the universe is an oppositional system. So if you, like electricity for example, if you cut the electricity on one leg, the whole thing collapses. There's no system. So you have to have that send and receive, that yin and yang happening. If they come
The
in
yin and the
contact
yang, the ebb and the flow, all opposites are reconciled.
with each other, then they can neutralize and cancel out like a salt or something. But what this is going to do is there's enough design in space that keeps it separate. And so instead of a sun actually being a fusion generator eating its own hydrogen and helium, and over time, you know, it's going to use all of its fuel, the sun is actually being powered by something else.
The sun
There's
is being
something else
powered by
that's acting.
something else. That's the same thing that Eric Dollard says. The sun is being powered by something else. What is that something else? We will never know.
On that female
May never know.
field, if you will, that's creating that sun. So what you're going to see in here, as there's enough, the vacuum pump is pumping out the air, then eventually you're going to start seeing a orange dot, which is the male side, and a purple dot on the female side, and they're going to start reacting together, and then a purple plasma is going to start.
It's interesting that it's an orange dot and a purple dot, which actually are opposites also on the color wheel. If you look up a color wheel, the universe is color coded. It's interesting. So, well, orange and blue, I guess, are technically opposites, but you can get, like, they're complementary too. So orange and violet, that would be a complementary color. Orange and blue are opposites. But it's funny how, like, you'll see it in crystals. Like, when you see crystals that have two colors, they'll have complementary colors or opposite colors as their other color because the universe is color coded. It's really fascinating once you start looking into it. Just saying.
Forming around the female field. Then it's going to move inside, and magnetism, not gravity, is going to pull it all together. And that plasma, or the baby of these two, is a sun. So it's in a womb in the female, if you will. So that's what this is. If it was a engine of fusion, then you'd have a super hot core, you know, getting cooler as it moves out. But it's actually the opposite. The atmosphere's the hottest. It's
Who's calling and interrupting my star in a jar? Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey Karen, it's Alex. Sorry to cut off your video. I'm on a test drive at work right now, so it's like I'm just trying to find time to get away so I can call and tell you about the meetup.
Okay, hurry up.
Yeah, so it was really awesome. I got a reservation for everybody at a Mexican restaurant in Irmo, and I hadn't been there before, so I was nervous like how it was going to be, but it turned out to be really, really good. Like, the food was amazing, and the setting was nice. It wasn't too loud or crowded in there. We had a table for 18, but I think only like 12 people showed up. And like I said, Crumb, he was supposed to make it, but I don't know. He just didn't show up, and I tried calling him. But yeah, I hope he's doing all right.
Crumb's okay. But, actually, the truth is that Crumb was with me.
Okay, there you go.
Crumb was with me.
It's all good. Okay. Yeah, no worries, no worries. But then afterwards, we ended up going to the bowling alley and just throwing some balls down the lanes, hitting some pins, and yeah, it was a really good time. Elizabeth is great. Everybody loved meeting her, and I think she fits in really well with our crew.
Yeah, I had a long talk with Lizbeth. She's all right. I like her too. I would like to meet her.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have gone to be able to meet her, but we just couldn't swing it.
Yeah, there will be more in the future, I'm sure, and
Of
she's
course.
definitely down to come. So
Of course,
yeah,
we're gonna have more.
I guess I'll be helping her out with her garden. Like I got her some flowers and seeds to help her get going. But yeah, so I'm happy to welcome her to the Carolinas, and yeah, she's a great addition. She's very intelligent and gorgeous, and looking forward to more stuff in the future. And I'm really happy that she's on Strainfield. I think she's a great fit for it.
Okay.
Not that she's a replacement for you. Not that she's replacing you, but
Nobody can replace me. Nobody can replace me. Are you kidding?
Exactly.
I'm way too surly for most people to replace me. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, she likes you though. So, yeah, and so it was a good time. It was like a late night too. Like I didn't expect it to go that long, but you know, it was like a good 5-hour meetup altogether.
Yeah, well, you guys started at 7. That's late. That's late.
I know, but it was Shabbat, so it had to be after sunset.
Yeah.
So, and now sunset's even later with the time change. That's annoying. So whatever.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to mention real quick is Mark did come to Clubhouse last week for a little bit to say hi to everybody, and he did mention that there is going to be a conference where he's headlining it. It was going to be in Georgia, but he just said that it's actually going to be in North Carolina somewhere. I don't know the details yet, but he said it's going to be end of September. So I guess stay tuned for info on that.
I haven't heard about that at all.
And I was actually thinking, it would be cool to get Mark here for a meetup. I mean, we could pull money together. He's an awesome dude. Everybody loves him. I think it would be worth it. Maybe sometime in the next few months or over the summer. I don't know. I like that idea.
Sure.
But yeah, so that was it. Been enjoying your coffee talk. So keep at it, Karen. Love what you do.
All right, thanks. Thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
Bye. Why doesn't anybody ever tell me about these things? I feel like you guys are being sneaky. All right, let's get back to the video.
Surface is so cool. It's 6,000 degrees, and then inside is so cool that you can see sunspots. You can actually look into the core, and there is so cool in temperature that's what a sunspot is.
So you're telling me what I've learned in school was not appropriate, was not
right. It's based on a gravitational theory,
and we believe that it is a magnetism.
Right, and magnetism is 40,000 times stronger than gravity.
Absolutely. Why is this purple? If it's supposed to be the sun, why is it not yellow? Explain the difference, please.
Yeah, so that basically relates to what kind of plasma is being generated based on the element that's present there. Mm-hmm. So the sun is yellow because of the hydrogen and helium makeup, whereas this is purple-ish, and it will actually condense into kind of a orange because it's mostly oxygen and nitrogen, because I just sucked out the air we're breathing to make the
Excellent.
vacuum. Yep. So what this is really doing is a male field is sending energy to the female, and that relationship is producing this energy that's now moving into her womb, and magnetism is going to pull it together. So that's why I show this is an overly simplistic demonstration of why with the different dragons there's a male and a female, or yin and yang, and this is just a way to show that, but it's also cool to see a son be born. And so here in probably 5 or so 10 minutes, that will get tighter and tighter and tighter, and it'll be an actual visible sphere. You'll actually see a little core, and it'll even shoot out a beagle jet of pure energy. So
awesome.
A quasar.
So the sun is sending out quasar energy to the Earth.
So yeah,
measured by, what's the term that the sun measures in?
Well, so something's feeding the sun. The sun then is feeding our moon and our Earth, all of that. Everything's being fed, and it's a system. So there's no such thing as immaterial matter, and there's no such thing as non-energized matter, right? Matter is capacitated to receive light and energy. So when the two work together, that's what's happening here with the sun. It's just that this is an example of our red dragon energy to kind of show. So what's happening inside that female is similar to what's happening to our blue dragon water. What's happening on the outside male is what happens to our male blue dragon water. So
Excellent.
different generators doing different things, but we're setting it up in a system. So as long as there's a system, and then that relationship can exchange, and there's value in that exchange, that's how everything works.
So what got you so excited about Eastern philosophy?
So this guy's basically saying that we do live in an enclosed system, and it's all being fed by the same source.
With the yin and the yang. When did you put all that together with Western science? When did this just get you, when you got passionate and so excited to share this?
So as I started getting more and more formulas donated to us that were mostly Chinese to begin with, and then started moving Middle Eastern and then Polynesian, etc., I was trying to take an overly simplistic approach to the explanation of Chinese medicine and Middle Eastern medicine. Because Middle Eastern medicine is very focused on the energy component, or the red dragon side, and the Chinese is the matter component. And so by mixing the two together, it's I believe, a more holistic side to that. But the word dragon is actually, in all cultures and ancient myths, the dragon is actually a healing thing. And so now or a serpent, especially if it's flying. If it's a flying serpent, like Quetzalcoatl to the Native Americans, or the dragon to the Chinese, or the snake that was lifted on a pole to the Middle Eastern beliefs, it's all the same image of the caduceus, which is still what you see on every hospital and every ambulance, is that winged pole with snakes. It's a flying, vortexing serpent. And so that is a universal symbol of health, or long life, or longevity. It means all those things. And so taking in that and kind of mixing that all together is where we use dragon.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think he's wrong, though, about the caduceus. Because there's a difference between the caduceus and the asclepius, and it's the caduceus... Caduceus, staff carried by Hermes in Greek mythology. And Asclepius is the Greek god of medicine. See, this is what I'm saying. Asclepius is the Greek god of medicine. I know this is Sheeplepedia, but seriously. The rod of Asclepius. Okay, so this is supposed to be the one that is for health. The caduceus, not to be confused with the rod of Asclepius. The caduceus, staff carried by Hermes in Greek mythology, and consequently by Hermes Trismegistus, blah blah blah. But it doesn't have the same meaning. As a symbol, it represents, by extension, trades, occupations, undertakings associated with the god. Caduceus provided the basis for astronomical symbol from Mercury. Blah, blah, blah. So Hermes, so if it's the rod carried by Hermes, right? So who's Hermes? Hermes, god of boundaries, roads, travelers, merchants, thieves, athletes, shepherds, commerce, speed, cunning, language, oratory, wit. None of this is healing or health, right? None of it. So he's actually wrong about that. Just saying.
So Paul, this little dot of male frequency, and Mark, if you can catch that over on this side here, that's what's actually
the source.
Feeding the female frequency.
Yep,
So
that is what is sending energy to the
that's
female.
the source.
Yep.
And how is it sending that energy to it?
In a vortex. So all energy travels in a vortex. Scientists usually refer to the two-dimensional version. So as it spins, if you smash it flat, it looks like it's up and down in a wave. But in reality, it's actually a vortexing. It's three-dimensional. So if you're looking at a vortex from the side and you could see it, it'd look like a wave. It'd look like it's going up and down.
Yeah.
It's going like this, but it's really going like that.
A vortex. Excellent.
Yep. So all energy travels in vortexes.
And then a comment made earlier by Dr. Troy, you seem to have almost a
Also, I don't think energy travels, it propagates. It propagates in a vortex. It doesn't travel.
field around it, like rings. Can you explain what those rings are?
So this is the male field that's on the outside, and then the female field on the inside. So the energy is acting on the actual metal field. Obviously in space, there's not this construct, right? It's all done through some method we don't understand, but it's this principle of energy is being sent from point A to point B, and then sent out again. So these tiny little, if you look inside the female ball there, the triangular piece, you'll start seeing like this purple fuzz shooting out. That's sending energy out. So that would be similar to like what our sun is sending to all the planets, our moon, our earth.
So the sun is being fed by another
Something.
source, by something, and then the sun is sending out to the world
Right.
its radiation, its heat, its gift.
Right.
That's fascinating.
Yep. But it has to be a system.
It has to be a system. And a yin and a yang.
Yep.
Everything's a yin and a yang.
It is.
Everything.
Yep.
So I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Where did the male go? Where did the male frequency go, Paul?
It's gone from a really dominant one source to kind of fading out, and it might be 30 or 40 different spots.
And it's feeding the female.
Right.
Now, what are we going to see next? I know I've come in here before, and there's been like this incredible strand of electronic activity happening. What am I seeing then?
Yep. Basically, these tiny little trumpets, if you will, shooting out in these little triangles inside the female ball, magnetically combine to be one quasar, and which is pure electrons. You can actually take a magnet and bend it, move it to the different part of the sun or whatever.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the number one thing you've taken back after making this? What is the one realization you have? I know that magnetic field is obviously much stronger than gravity, but what's the big thing that you take home from this?
The big thing is that every system in the universe, atoms, the entire cosmos, everything's a yin and yang. And everything's a system, and our bodies are an entire universe of systems, and each system's a yin and yang. So as you breathe in, you have a particular pH that absorbs oxygen. But then when you breathe out, that changes, and the pH is now able to hold on to CO2 to let it get out of you. So again, and you have, so there's a yin and yang happening, but then you also have the respiratory, which is yin to the yang of the cardiovascular. And I mean, it's just on and on and on. There's no end to how many systems or yin and yang scenarios that you can find.
That's fascinating. Well, thank you very much. This has been great. Excited to get this posted and for people to see this amazing technology. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Been amazing.
So, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Let's see. There's another Star in the Jar video.
I was
This is different, though.
transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid.
Because this has fluid in it. Now, the one we just watched didn't have fluid in it. It didn't. It was just... He used those metal things to put the field inside that jar and then created a vacuum, and then that's how it started to form. This is fluid.
And you look
so it's
into the
different.
center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which could be seen with the unaided eye.
That looks like a star. I guess the last one was called Star in a Jar, but he was trying to say it was the sun. This actually looks like a star. Like this, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that Maybe the sun is the sun and the stars are stars and the sun is not a star and the stars are not suns, right? That's a heliocentric idea. So the fact that they're creating these two things, two different ways, kind of makes sense, right? Because I don't think the stars are the same as the sun, or that the sun is the same as the stars. It doesn't look the same. They don't behave the same from our perception, so why would it be the same? Zach wants to make a star in a jar. Yes, do it.
Looked like a star in the heavens.
This eerie music is
Seth
annoying.
Putterman called it the star in a jar, a tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid. This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star. What made the phenomenon so exciting was the temperature of this star in a jar. On its surface alone, the light burns at tens of thousands of degrees. And Seth Putterman now contemplated a tantalizing possibility. Could the core of the collapsing bubble
Is this woman singing?
be even hotter? Hot enough for fusion.
One of the mysteries of sonoluminescence is to determine exactly how hot the interior of the bubble gets. In the sun, the interior can be...
See, then they
millions of
start talking
degrees.
about the sun. The sun is not the stars, and the stars are not the sun. It's not the same thing. You know, this is why... You know, if they don't start looking at each individual, you know, separating these things, you're never going to get to the truth. As long as you're
Hot
conflating
enough
stars
to,
with the sun, you're
cause
never going to
fusion.
find truth.
And that's
Suns
what
are not
crossed my
stars,
mind,
stars not
that
the sun.
Perhaps inside the collapsing bubble, the interior of the bubble might also get hot enough to cause fusion.
If so, this would be something truly amazing. By simply bombarding tiny bubbles with sound waves, temperatures of over 10 million degrees would be created. And nuclear fusion, the same reaction that powers the sun, would be happening almost effortlessly here on Earth.
Right. That's assuming that they know what powers the sun. They do not. At least the last guy, this guy was at least honest about that. He doesn't know what powers the sun. By what method do these things appear in our sky? We don't know. But it's interesting to see stuff like this and to see how things work. But, you know, these, and him and his, like, we're gonna mimic the vacuum of space. Well, you're not. They don't ever say how much of a vacuum gets created in this. I'm sure we were watching it. I don't recall them saying what the vacuum is that they're able to achieve in that jar. But there's no freaking way it's 10 to the negative 17 torr. Because they can't even get anywhere near that with that giant vacuum chamber that's in Ohio that was on that show with, whatchamacallit, Brian Cox. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, it's Ron again, the water guy. A Real Star in a Jar by Electric Tides was the video I was talking about. The second one you went on was close to it, but this one, A Real Star in a Jar, Electric Tides, I think is the channel name. That really went into the different frequencies pointed at the bubble underwater. So anyway, I won't keep you. I just wanted to get you the right video that I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I see. This is also from 6 years ago.
Yeah, like I said, like 10 years ago, I think. I don't even know if this is the right video that I saw the first time, but this one I watched, I only got 3 or 4 minutes into it. I'm a stock trader, so the market's going crazy. I'm doing too many things at once like you. But that seems closer to the one I saw 10 years ago. And this one had even extra where they pointed different frequencies at it and got different results. They could look like Saturn or the different planets.
Yeah.
So it's more fascinating. I want you to get that right. That first video you played, that was like trying to make it like space in a vacuum, and that wasn't what I was talking about. So anyway, I just wanted to get you closer to the right video. I'm not sure if the one Electric Tides is the right one either. There seems to be quite a few videos out there since 10 years ago. So.
Okay.
Okay,
check it out.
fascinating. I'm still watching you. I'm trading stock though.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, take care. -6 Tor is all man has gotten low. That's not even anywhere near close to space. Sun and moon were never described as stars in traditional or ancient astrology. They were always considered lights or luminaries. Yeah. Best I can do is fart in a jar. Alright, CMG. The liquid star in a jar resonates more with me, like the stars are singing their unique frequency and broadcasting a light. And they do have different signatures, like visual frequency signatures too. Missed getting Venus on top of the moon. Someone sent me, some other people got. Venus on top of the moon. Venus was not on top of the moon. Venus went behind the moon. Nobody has video of Venus going in front of the moon. Or Mars. Nobody. Currently raining, yeah. Currently raining, which is good because we had fire ban. And we were getting we have fire danger, so we needed the rain for sure. Does anybody know what the vacuum level was when the astronaut's tongue started boiling and he passed out? I don't remember. Yeah, so this Carolina event allegedly is supposed to happen exactly the same weekend I did my event last year where we got hit by a hurricane in western North Carolina. So apparently I don't know what they're thinking. I wouldn't do it that time again. No way. How do they measure the temp inside the luminescent bubbles? Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, saying it's like 10 million degrees or some crap in there. Let's see. Should we try to find out? In 61, Yuri Gagarin was the first person in space. Blah, blah, blah. Some parts of these spacesuits are individually manufactured for each astronaut going into space. Others are assembled from finished modules and adapted. Blah, blah, blah. The pressure levels in space are reconstructed in a vacuum chamber. There, near the Earth, an ultra-high vacuum of 10 to -7 to 10 to -12 millibar prevails. Further away, there is an even higher vacuum with less than 10 to -12 millibar. This pressure in the chamber, which has to be elaborately generated with extreme modern vacuum technology in several steps, approximately corresponds to the pressure at an altitude 40 kilometers above the Earth. Well, that's not telling me exactly what it was then. They were tested in vacuum chambers. They actually still do. It's by far simpler than sending something into low Earth orbit, blah, blah, blah. Early NASA vacuum chamber test gone wrong. Garbage. Jim LeBlanc survives early spacesuit test. Blah, blah, blah. The only somehow became disconnected. Then his pressurization hose somehow became disconnected, and LeBlanc became the only person to survive near vacuum pressures when his suit dropped from 3.8 psi to 0.1 psi in 10 seconds. The chamber, which would normally take 30 minutes to repressurize, was blasted back to atmospheric pressure in 87 seconds. Amazingly, LeBlanc survived with just an earache to show for his ordeal. Doesn't say. Don't know. Can't find it. The stars in the Book of Enoch are said to be all of the elect people that would be born on the earth. The wandering stars or planets, I think maybe something else. KIC makes a video series on Enoch, yeah. Enoch is not a canonized book in the Bible, though. Unless you're talking about the Ethiopian Bible. And actually, I've read Enoch a couple of times, and it to me does not sufficiently explain what is going on in the sky. It does not. Yeah, I can't find what exactly they lowered it to. What is this? Space activity suit? Ultraviolet testing of spacesuit materials. Come on. Where's my PDF? No? You don't want to let me have it? Trying to download these PDFs about spacesuits and testing. Or spacesuit development. And it won't load them. What's up with that? Enoch described the solar system. Well... I don't know. It's kind of weird. The Book of Enoch is weird. There's a couple different versions of it. There's different translations of it. I don't know. When I read it, it just seemed kind of weird. Like, it doesn't read like the rest of the Bible does. It doesn't read like the rest of Scripture at all. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't care what is canon, whatever is Catholics say is irrelevant. Well, when you look into stuff and how they verify these books, they use it by cross-referencing other ancient texts. So, Isn't Enoch incomplete? I wonder what the difference is between the Ethiopian version and the non-canon version. I don't know. I haven't compared those. Look at these PDFs are not going to load for me. Whatever. The Book of Enoch, the Ethiopian version. Well, this is 92 pages. So far, this is not talking about the sky. And behold, the watchers called me Enoch the scribe. Do you guys know where it's supposed to start talking about the luminaries in this? As to the death of the giants, whosoever their spirits depart from their bodies, let their flesh, that which is perishable, be without judgment. Thus shall they perish until the day of the great consummation of the great world. A destruction shall take place of the watchers and the impious. Oh, here, is this it? Then I saw, oh, okay. I think it's starting here. They raised me up to a certain place where there was the appearance of a burning fire, and then they pleased and assumed the likeness of men. They carried me to a lofty spot, to a mountain, the top of which reached to heaven. And I beheld the receptacles of light and of thunder at the extremities of the place where it was deepest. There was a bow of fire and arrows in their quiver, and a sword of fire, and every species of lightning. Then they elevated me to a babbling stream, and to a fire in the west which received all the setting of the sun. I came to a river of fire which flowed like water and emptied itself into the great sea westwards. Okay, well, what does that mean? I saw every large river until I arrived at the great darkness. I went to where all of flesh migrate, and I beheld the mountains of the gloom, which constitutes winter, and the place from which issues the water in every abyss. I saw also the mouths of all the rivers in the world, and the mouths of the deep. I then surveyed the receptacles of all the winds, perceiving that they contributed to adorn the whole creation and to preserve the foundation of the earth. I surveyed the stone which supports the corners of the earth. I also beheld the four winds which bear up the earth and the firmament of heaven, and I beheld the winds occupying the exalted sky, arising in the midst of heaven and of earth, and constituting the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds which turn the sky, which cause the orb of the sun and of all the stars to set, and over the earth I saw the winds which support the clouds. I saw the winds which turn the sky, which cause the orb of the sun and of all the stars to set over the earth. That kind of sounds like the telluric current, like the ether wind, right? Not like traditional wind, but like the ether wind, right? I saw the path of the angels. I perceived at the extremity of the earth the firmament of heaven above it. Then I passed on towards the south, where burnt both by day and night 6 mountains formed of glorious stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. Those which were towards the east were of variegated stone, one of which was of margarite and another of antimony. Those towards the south were of a red stone. The middle one reached to a heaven like the throne of God, a throne composed of alabaster, the top of which was of sapphire. I saw too a blazing fire hanging over the mountains. What does that mean? A blazing fire hanging over the mountains. And there I saw a place on the other side of an extended territory, where the waters collected. I likewise beheld terrestrial fountains, deep in the fiery columns of heaven. Terrestrial fountains, deep in the fiery columns of heaven. I likewise beheld terrestrial fountains deep in the fiery columns of heaven. Okay, so terrestrial fountains. Terrestrial is of the earth. Deep in the fiery columns of heaven. What does that mean? And there I saw a place on the other side of extended territory where waters collected. And in the columns of heaven I beheld fires, which descended without number, but neither on high nor into the deep. Over these fountains I also perceived a place which had neither the firmament of heaven above it, nor the solid ground underneath it. Neither was there water above it, nor anything on wing, but the spot was desolate. And there I beheld 7 stars like great blazing mountains, and like spirits entreating me. Then the angel said, "This place, until the consummation of heaven and earth, will be the prison of the stars and the host of heaven." The stars which roll over fire are those which are transgressed the commandment of God before their time arrived, for they came not in their proper season. Therefore he was offended with them and bound them until the period of the consummation of their crimes in the secret year. What does that mean? The secret year. Do you guys see where I'm having issues with this? Can somebody explain what that means? Then Uriel said, "Here the angels who cohabitated with women appointed their leaders, and being numerous in appearance made men profane, and caused them to err, so that they sacrificed to devils as to gods. For in the great day there shall be a judgment, with which they shall be judged." Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, it's Glenn. I just pointing out something you're reading right now that is something you skipped over kind of quickly. Verse 8 there, where it says, "I perceived at the extremity of the earth the firmament of heaven above it." So
Yeah.
that implies that you're at the edge where the firmament meets the earth. That's the implication to me, anyway.
Well, yeah, but then it says, "Then I passed on towards the south." So what, is he going beyond that?
That's the only comment I had. I'm sorry. I didn't. But anyway, yeah, I just point that out.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. You got all you people in here who say Enoch explains the sky. Can you explain what this means? Don't trust the translation. Yeah, and then I'm like, well, what was it? Even I was even asking Jack, well, was the Book of Enoch originally written in Hebrew or Greek? And I guess there's a Hebrew version and a Greek version, and they don't. Let's see. What was let me see if I can find it. Original language of the Book of Enoch. I'm going to not even go to Sheeplepedia on this. What was the language that Enoch spoke, and did the Book of Enoch, written 3,000 years BC, is there any proof or carbon dating of that? I would like to know if the Book of Enoch was dated, blah, blah, blah. A pseudo-biographical book, literally a false attribution. Almost all of the Dead Sea Scrolls collection is housed in the Shrine of the Book. Blah, blah, blah. Five distinct compositions. The Book of the Watchers, oldest Aramaic fragment, is Dead Sea Scrolls dated first half of the 2nd century BC. Well, we can be skeptical about the dating. The similitudes. No fragments have been found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some scholars suggest it was late 3rd century AD Christian composition. Astronomical book, oldest Aramaic fragment, have been dated to the 3rd century. Book of Dreams, the Epistle of Enoch, 1st century BC. There is no firm proof of what language Enoch actually spoke, but several hypotheses do exist. One from Wikipedia. Adamic language. The Book of Enoch is regarded as canonical by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church and Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church. Thus, the traditional Ethiopian belief is that Enoch spoke the Ge'ez language, or Ge'ez. I don't know how to say that. Its holy extent only in the Ge'ez language, Aramaic fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls, and a few Greek Latin fragments. For this and other reasons, the traditional Ethiopian belief is that the original language of the work was Ge'ez, whereas modern scholars argue that it was first written in either Aramaic or Hebrew. Ephraim Isaac suggests the Book of Enoch, like the Book of Daniel, was composed partially in Aramaic and partially in Hebrew. No Hebrew version is known to have survived. It is asserted in the book itself that its author was Enoch before the biblical flood. The nature of that original language remains controversial, interpretations showing many nationalist flavors. Traditional Jewish exegesis such as Midrash says that Adam spoke Old Hebrew, or rather its linguistic ancestor Proto-Canaanite, because the names he gives, Eve, Isha, and Shava, only make sense in Hebrew. Ancient Jewish religious work ascribed by tradition to Enoch, great-grandfather of Noah. Oldest portion of Enoch is placed about 300 BCE and not 3000 BCE as mentioned in the question. That simply does not mean that older texts at one time did exist or that Enoch is not the author. It's the oldest copy we have. It seems history may have passed into legend and we may never know the truth. Well. There you go. The conspiracy part of me turns on when you're academic gatekeepers say there's nothing. They don't say that there's nothing to read here. It's just not considered a part of. It's not canonized. But it also doesn't really read like the rest of Scripture. So when you're reading the Bible, you start to get a feel for how things are written, and it just doesn't read like the rest of Scripture. And I can't even make sense of like what it's talking about. So the stars which roll over fire are those which transgressed the commandment of God before their time arrived, for they came not in their proper season. Therefore he was offended with them, and bound them until the period of consummation of their crimes in the secret year. What does the secret year mean? What does that mean? Anyway, and being numerous in appearance made men profane, blah blah blah, until they are consumed, and their wives also shall be judged, who led astray the angels of heaven that they might salute them. And I, Enoch, I alone saw the likeness of the end of all things, nor did any human being see it as I saw it. Paradise and cherubim. Okay. Then I made a circuit to a place in which nothing was completed, and there I beheld neither the tremendous workmanship of an exalted heaven, nor of an established earth, but a desolate spot, prepared and terrific. There too I beheld 7 stars of heaven, bound in it together, like great mountains, and like blazing fire. Can somebody explain that to me? I beheld 7 stars of heaven bound in it together, like great mountains, and like blazing fire. Like great mountains and like a blazing fire. I exclaimed, for what species of crime have they been bound, and why have they been removed to this place? Blah, blah, blah. These are the stars which have transgressed the commandment and the Most High God, and are here bound until the infinite number of the days of crimes they have completed. Okay. From there I proceeded to another spot where I saw in the west a great and lofty mountain, a strong rock, and 4 delightful places. Internally it was deep, capacious, and very smooth as if it had been rolled over. It was both deep and dark to behold. Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who were with me, answered and said, these are the delightful places where the souls of the dead will be collected for them where they formed, and here will be collected all the souls of sons of men. So what, he's in Sheol or whatever? Another mountain of fire, flashing both by day and night. I preceded it, preserved 7 splendid mountains which were all different from each other. Their stones were brilliant and beautiful. All were brilliant and splendid to behold, and beautiful was their surface. 3 mountains were towards the east, and strengthened by being placed one upon another, and 3 were towards the south, strengthened in a similar manner. There were likewise deep valleys which did not approach each other. I mean, what if Enoch just had some crazy hallucination and then wrote it down? It just doesn't explain anything to me. But I'm open. Like, I'm looking at it. I saw also on the east another mountain as high as that. Between them were deep but not wide valleys. So this is just about different places on Earth? But I don't know, because up here earlier it says that he went to where the edge of the firmament, and then he goes south beyond that. So it's like, is he talking about stuff that's outside of this realm? Or inside the realm? I perceived the extremity of the earth, the firmament of heaven, and above it. Then I passed on towards the south. Passed on towards the south. So we're burnt both by day and night, 6 mountains formed of glorious stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. Help me out. Well, I don't see anybody in here who's able to explain what I'm reading in the Book of Enoch or make any sense of it. You guys are just saying, so what if it's not canonized? I don't go by what they said. And, it's fine and good. I can understand that. But you guys also you guys aren't showing me. Nobody can explain this? You guys, can somebody call in and explain it to me? What is this talking about? So here, look here, chapter 25. From there I proceeded to the middle of the earth and beheld a happy fertile spot which contained branches continually sprouting from trees which were planted in it. There I saw a holy mountain and underneath it water on the eastern side which flowed towards the south. What does it mean? Thanks for calling Coffee Talk Around with Karen B.
Karen, it's Glenn again. That proceeds towards the south. That kind of doubly confirms that you're at the perimeter. You're going from the interior of the earth to its perimeter. So not only do you, at that point, you run into a barrier, the firmament, to pass beyond it, you must be heading in the southward direction, which kind of is totally consistent with the AE model. And then, as far as, don't forget, the Book of Enoch is mentioned in canonized scripture. Also, those who canonize the scripture, don't forget that the people who canonize things are the ones who feel that they could stand in the place of
I understand all that. But I also have read the Book of Enoch, and it doesn't make sense.
Right, and kind of related what Cammie just mentioned, too, and it's consistent with scripture, too. If Satan's involved with stuff, he'll mix in lies with the truth too. So it always has to be kind of thought about. And also, Scripture is corruptible per Scripture itself. It is corruptible, but that's kind of a win for Christianity in a way, because Islam claims that their Scripture is uncorruptible, and time again, it's been proven to have been changed and messed with throughout time, but just ideas.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, somebody else was trying to call. If somebody else has something to add. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Karen B, it's F'd Up World's Joe. How's it going?
Hey, Joe. That's good.
So
how are you?
I can give you my thoughts about what you were reading there.
Okay.
To me, it made sense that he's describing when he's talking about those 7 stars that he was describing as like great burning mountains or whatever. There's 7 of them. And then they're the only ones of the stars that disobeyed or transgressed the commandments when to go on their courses. So all the other stars do one thing, and there's 7 transgressing stars doing an entirely different thing, their own orbits. And when he was saying that they were rolling over a fire, and that they were bound, imprisoned until the judgment or whatever. So I think that he was just describing the solar system, and that it's actually an abyss of darkness. It's not space, and it's not fake, but it's, I guess I don't really know exactly what to call it, but like even NASA says it's basically a place where everything is perpetually falling, or physics or whatever would say that. Because of gravity.
Well,
but no,
this
I mean,
little
the
thing...
Book of Enoch is, to me, it seems like there's a lot of stuff in there, but I have to agree too, it doesn't, I'm still confused about...
It is confusing, right?
The course, like I've read, I don't know how many times that the book of the courses of the heavenly luminaries or whatever, that's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And I know that there are people that have like a clearer idea in their minds, and I just, Adam Fink from Parable of the Vineyard, he was talking about the sun and moon and their portals and stuff, and what he was making, it was, I guess it was making me think, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a mystery anyway.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I just don't think it really, I mean, it talks about it, but I just don't think it really explains anything.
No, it does say in chapter 80, it does say that the whole order of the stars would be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth would err, the thoughts of the sinners, the thoughts of those on the earth would err concerning the order of the stars. So I think that, I mean, to me that is sort of like a reason maybe why we have some of that stuff that, like you're saying, it's like, that seems impossible to understand, but it might make sense someday as this crazy thing is happening. Karen, what's going on?
Man, I don't know.
Sitting here watching, I watched a little of Marty's thing. That I don't think it's. Oh, it drives me nuts because I think people are just thinking everything's so crazy, and there's so much like people faking things and doing all this, like behind closed doors, getting paid, or being bribed, or what. None of that is happening.
I mean, I don't know. I was
I think
very skeptical of that too, but now I don't know. As time goes on and like the weird behaviors that are going on, now I'm not so sure. Like it looks weird. The more things that happen as time goes on.
I would say it can look weird because of obviously 10 years or however long, we'd just say that as a general number, I suppose, a long time of having a very similar journey or whatever, and coming to certain conclusions that are, very much the same, and then all of a sudden it changes. That is troubling to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I, like with Jaron, when I listen to what he says, like when he's debunking or whatever the flat earth, he's just saying that, like, the same things that all the other people have said for 10 years that didn't change my mind at all.
Yeah.
If that makes, and he's showing he's got his globe on the screen, and the 3D thing, he's going around on that all the time. See, the sun's here, and I'm like, no, the sun's up in the sky. Like that, maybe a map is a bad idea, or a model or whatever,
Yeah.
But I don't think anything could, like, if you walk out the front door and you take a breath of the fresh air, look at the sun, look at the stars, look at the stuff outside, nothing can model that. That's insane.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there's a sickness going around that got started with the word predict. There's like a sickness going around, and people are like, the globe predicts this, the globe. No. God makes something happen, or we could say nature, or however you want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
We're subject to this reality, and we observe it, and we observe patterns. I'm not saying everybody knows how to tell when the next eclipse is and all that. I think that if the globe works, then the globe works. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The sky's doing what it does, and if they can devise a way that they can make predictions about, where the next eclipse will happen or something like that, that isn't necessarily because of the globe. That's just like a language that they wrote to understand cycles and patterns and things and signs and seasons and days and years,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cat's going crazy. But yeah, I think like as far as like a community thing, I think that like the final experiment or whatever, it seems to be a great way to show that there really is no kind of like community in the way that some people, hi fam, now that I'm like, no, you're all strangers and friends and people on the internet, and like it just the same as people I know, but it's people I know on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. People are going crazy, I think.
Yeah. The things that are going on is breaking a lot of people's brains.
And I don't know, I got to make a comparison. Those brains are like, I don't know. It seems like being tricked. Like if I was to talk about Jaron, I'm not ripping on the guy. I'm not here to rip on anybody, but I'll give my opinion about certain things. Like when he's talking about a southern celestial pole, he's like, it's there. And I'm like, and? It's been there.
I know.
It's been there for your whole life, bro.
Yeah.
I don't understand how could you go 10 years? I really don't understand how you could go 10 years and not be aware of what's happening in the sky in the south, because I'm just saying, for me, in the last 10 years, I've come to understand most of what I know about that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is I don't know, I hear people saying that there's no South Pole and that there's no Southern Celestial Pole, because that can't happen on a flat Earth, and that's
wrong.
And the unmentionables, those they're always using like a globe and they're making the stars go around the outside of their globe, like in a big circle, like around an ice wall, and I'm like, but that's not anything like what the sky is.
Yeah.
Like and I don't understand how people are. I guess I don't understand the drive to try to model. I don't get it.
Well, I don't know.
The model's outside.
Yeah.
We're already living in it. I don't know.
I think most people just, that's sort of like an internal conflict that I think most people have to deal with. Because, like, I'm totally okay not knowing how this place works. I've made my peace with that. I will probably never know. I know it's not what they say it is, but it also makes it more interesting. It makes this place more interesting to think about.
Yes.
Yes.
And you'll have people that just can't grasp that you're okay with not, like, for me, there's somewhere in the sky or whatever. When you go up in the sky, this is just for me. I don't understand the change that I'm talking about. But there's a change in maybe we could say physics or something like that, or it's entirely different. It's maybe not subject to time. Like the things on Earth are underneath the stars, and like there's time here. I think up there's something different going on, and I think that's why there's a billion Starlink satellites. If you go outside at night, I don't know how you could spend 5 minutes out there without noticing Starlink satellites flying through the sky all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying is, however they're staying up there, I think it's simply that they're falling. But they're not falling on the globe. They're just falling into that, like they're falling up into, first they take a rocket up, and then they're going sideways, and then they just go over the surface of the Earth without any fuel. It's perpetual. And like the astronauts, how they're always in 0G. That's because they're falling. And I'm just like, that's described in the Bible, a bottomless place of darkness. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree with that.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I don't know. I just, everyone has their kind of thoughts, you know?
Yeah, totally. Of course.
Karen, I think it sounds like you need to rant or something. I can tell. You're bottled up. I'm just kidding.
Am I? Oh, you're kidding. Okay.
I'm just joking. A good Karen rant is always good to hear. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
They're usually pretty good. But I'll let you go.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right. Yeah, have a good one.
You too. Have a great day, Aaron. Hail, Ben. Required for magnetics to plot the way we measure. New calf, so busy in the morning. Yes, saw your new calf. Congratulations. The falling of the stars has to do with humans understanding that the story of the earth follows the story of the zodiac. I think we can all agree we've been stuck in a fish story. A catfish story. Just want a good rant for the week. Gives us strength. I mean, I can see that. There was something else I wanted to talk about today. I'll get to it. But every once in a while I keep going back to the book of Enoch and try to read it. I've read it a few times. Maybe I'm not reading the right version. I don't know. Oh my gosh, there's two people calling at the same time. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, I'm a big fan of your rants also. Just because I'm jealous of it. If I get that worked up about something, I can't retain my logical abilities like you can. You're just good at that. You have such control while you're doing it.
Really? Because I don't feel like that's the case. I'm glad it appears that way.
Yeah, you're still very logical in everything that you're saying, and yeah, it's good. You're just doing a logical argument very passionately, let's say. Anyway, I've got the same problems with the Book of Enoch that you do. Exactly the same. What drove me to read it in the first place was not flat Earth. It was, I wanted details about the angels and the failed coup attempt in heaven by 1/3 of them. What happened when they came to Earth? How does that fit in with the timing of Satan and the Garden of Eden? And I got a lot of those details, and that part of the Book of Enoch actually fits in with canonized scripture quite well, and it makes sense. It kind of fills that whole thing out. But then when you get into everything that you're reading about his travels and seemingly to the firmament and outside of the firmament, he's giving these directions and you're trying to follow it, and it becomes very illogical. And his descriptions of things are contradicting each other. And all of that just makes me question whether I can trust the book at all. And it makes me question who actually wrote it, too.
Yeah.
And it's been so long since I read it. I can't remember what made me start to wonder, wait, could this really have been Noah's grandfather back then? It made me feel like somebody else wrote it, but they were saying that they were Enoch. So I don't know. I can kind of see why. Well, number one, I understand and I share the frustrations with the people that canonize scripture and who decides that, all of that. But at the same time, I can kind of understand why they'd want to exclude this one, because a lot of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Logical sense.
That's
Yeah.
kind of my thing.
Yeah. Yep. Interesting to read, though.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That's all I had.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Bye.
Funny, the attack. It's not an attack, Sergey. It's not an attack on Enoch. It's really not an attack. I'm just, I just look at it the same way I look at everything. I scrutinize everything. This is why I didn't get on to all these little trendy bandwagons that everybody gets on. Because I look at it, I scrutinize everything. I try to look at everything with a analytical, logical sort of way, right? Because you have to do that to some degree for things to match reality, right? So it's not an attack. I just don't think it makes sense. I don't think it explains really what the sky is doing. And I know people say that there's a lot of answers in here, but I just don't agree. It's not like nothing can be gleaned from reading it. I'm sure you can learn stuff from it, like the last caller just said. I just don't think that it is a sufficient explanation of the mechanics of the sky. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk around with Karen B.
Hi, Karen. This is Marcus. Basically, I just want to go a little bit off topic, but I'm trying to get money over to Elizabeth, the one that went to Antarctica with the other boys. And basically, I'm having problems because she's only with Cash App, and I wanted to send her some money to grab some magnets because I can easily prove after that they were in a movie studio. Probably not voluntarily, but they got stuffed into a movie studio, how we can talk about later. But basically, it would have been firing a microwave at a spherical object that would turn hot, and that's how they got to recreate the sun. But then you'd levitate it with magnets, and you put a person into that environment, and they walk out polarized. And the magnets, which I'm hoping you could help pass the money over to Elizabeth, will basically show, and then afterwards the rest of the gang can basically see if magnets stick to them, and then they got something to go against NASA with. But for now, everybody keeps thinking that they weren't fooled, which NASA wouldn't invite them if they couldn't fool them.
NASA did not invite them anywhere. NASA did not invite them anywhere.
Well,
can you prove that NASA was even involved?
Of course.
How?
Who runs Antarctica to begin with? Right?
You think NASA runs Antarctica?
Pretty much. They're always in the thick of things as far as like who's running the show. I would say they're there. Yeah.
Why?
I thought that they were basically NASA has been on the Antarctic Treaty since its conception.
I thought the Antarctic Treaty was between countries, not government agencies. When was NASA created and when was the Antarctic Treaty? Okay, look. When was NASA created?
58, right?
Okay. 1958.
Right. And the Antarctic Treaty went into full effect roughly around the same time.
59. December 1st of 59. Okay. Depository, Federal Government of the United States. Okay, but it still doesn't say anything about NASA.
I forgot where I even heard about it, but basically folks have been saying that for a long time, so I even forget where I heard that NASA is basically in charge of Antarctica.
No.
But I know I heard it somewhere. Maybe
The Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959 by 12
so.
nations and came into effect in the mid 60s.
Okay. I don't know where I heard
It doesn't say anything about NASA,
if I
though.
sent you the money, I always thought NASA was on the list of who's in charge.
No,
Maybe
NASA is just a part of the United States government. It's a government agency of the United States. It doesn't run Antarctica.
Okay. Let's just say
Overview of the parties to the
military
treaty system: Argentina, Australia, Austria, Belarus, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Czech Republic, Denmark, Ecuador, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Guatemala, Hungary, Iceland, India, Italy. It's naming all these countries, but they're not.
No, I hear you on that. NASA would not be a country. I agree with you on that.
Okay. So
But I
NASA's
always
not
thought they
running
were in
Antarctica. There might be NASA employees working at bases in Antarctica.
Well, let's just leave it that it's military control. I'm happy with that. But if I sent you the money, would you be able to pass it off to Elizabeth for me? Since basically Cash App only works off your phone and in the States only. And I live in Canada and I can't use Cash App to send her any money.
Okay.
And that's the only thing she's got.
I mean, I guess.
So I was wondering if I said that would be great, you know, and if I'll just send you an email on top of that, if that would be possible, and you just pass off the email, and basically you might want to keep some of it because for your troubles. I don't have a problem with that.
Whatever you want to send her, that's fine. I honestly don't think you're gonna get what you're looking for, though. With magnets. I mean, how do you think that these people were put into a movie studio? Can you explain that part to me? Because I don't think that that's the case at all. They do not think that they were shoved into a movie studio. They think they flew in on a 737 and landed on an ice runway and then were driven on like snowmobiles or trucks or whatever to the camp. They don't think that they were in a movie theater or a studio or whatever. So how does that work?
I think after the plane landed, it got teleported into the movie studio, which I know sounds really far-fetched.
Yeah.
I know that part.
Extremely far-fetched. Why would you think that is true?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But let's put it this way. Basically, how about this? If the magnets don't stick, then it's just a wild theory. If they do, then we can talk about how they were stuffed into a movie studio after that.
If the magnets don't stick, what do you mean? Magnets are supposed to stick.
No, if the magnet sticks to her, lots of places, but I just said the shoulder, which would be the easiest.
Oh, you think she got magnetized?
If the magnets stick. Right.
Couldn't she just take any fridge magnet and test that out?
Apparently, this only works with disc magnets.
Why? Why would it only work with a disc magnet? A magnet is a magnet.
Well, according to the folks that know a little bit more about teleporters than I do, and according to how folks were stuffed into this environment in the targeted individuals community, they walked out polarized. But by the time they figured it all out and started gathering the evidence, it went south for them. So here's a fresh batch that recently got polarized that will probably complain a teensy weensy once they see that magnets stick to them. And I'm willing to pay to find out, I guess. That would be about it.
All right. Okay. Do you have my email?
Basically, well, no, I was gonna do it through a super chat, but I have your email, and I'll send you afterwards.
You're gonna do it through a super chat through YouTube?
What I'd like you to pass off, because yeah.
Okay, YouTube.
I know you get screwed for 30%.
Yeah, they do take 30%. So I just want to make sure you knew that. So in case you're wanting all that money to go through, it won't. Whatever you said. I don't know what you're doing.
No. Actually, I was hoping you kept like $50 for yourself. Mostly, I have no problem supporting your show whatsoever.
Okay. Well, if that's what you want to do, I will pass it on.
Great. Basically, I'm punching it in right now. If you just, it says $2. Whoops.
So Elizabeth already knows that you want to send her magnets or money for magnets.
Yeah, well, I want to send her money, but unfortunately, whatchamacallit, I can't send her money, and I can't send her an email either because she's scared that she doesn't know me and it might be chock full of, viruses.
Yeah.
She's scared of that.
Well, it's a legitimate concern.
The most a person... Did you know that the most a person can send you is $100?
On Super Chat?
According to YouTube?
I did not know that.
Yeah. I punched in a bigger number and it wouldn't let me. And now I'm trying to see.
Well,
it's not even letting me.
I have Ko-Fi. You can send it to me through Ko-Fi. They don't take a whole bunch of it like YouTube does, and I could get it to Lizbeth faster. But you can use a credit card. You could use a credit card just like you do YouTube, and then they don't take. YouTube takes like 30%, and Ko-Fi doesn't. They don't take any of it.
Okay, and
then I could send it, and it would be much faster. I could get it to her faster. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll register with them and then eventually send you something. It'll be there by the end of the day.
Yeah, just write a little note.
I'll attach a message that it's for Elizabeth.
Yeah, just write a note with it. I think you can put a note.
I appreciate that.
Okay, and then I will pass it on to Lizbeth.
Sure.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
By the way, as far as the scriptures go, my view is that heaven is down, and none of the scriptures describe a direction, and I think that's the most important thing is figuring out which way you want to go when you kick it.
Well, don't they say heaven's above?
You'll be given an option of up or down.
Well, would above count as saying it's up?
I think that I think that if this world is run by 6 or 7 people, and they're all Satanists, and they want you to get to hell, that all the propaganda they're going to put forward will justify that. And then afterwards, it's like Hotel California. Once you walk in, there's no walking out.
All right.
You know, that's my view, you know, why all this was done.
Okay.
It explains the pretty blue ball. All right. Well, thank you very much for your help, by the way.
Okay, no problem.
And you have a good day.
Okay, you too. Yeah, I'm clearly, obviously, I do not buy the story that they were put into some sort of studio, movie studio. You know, none of them think they were put in a studio. Literally, nobody who went to Antarctica thinks that anything was faked or there was any shenanigans going on. It's all people from the outside saying that, which should tell you something. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Yeah, Karen, Scripture is above for Isaiah, and something I haven't heard you bring up. I'm surprised. Witchett announced a couple days ago that he's been asked to debate a particular unnameable person on modern day debate.
Jaren?
Well, am I allowed to say it or not?
Yeah, you can say it. I just don't want people,
yeah.
like, taking over my whole stream complaining about fucking Jaren. You know, that's all. But, I mean, it's not like if it's part of what we're talking about, you can't say his name.
just trying to follow the rules.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. He mentioned that he was asked about it, where he'd be willing, and he seemed somewhat tentative on it, but he said if he does, quote-unquote, gloves off.
Well, yeah, it should be.
So, well, I mean, he did say that. I know that Witchett, he's kind of, what's the word? He doesn't walk around with his chest out, okay?
Yeah.
He's kind of reserved a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But he did, you know, and I was glad to hear him say that if he does engage, it's going to be gloves off. But it'll be a nice comedy for flat earthers to watch. I mean, the only way I can see it going past 2 minutes is if people start talking over Witchett.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think Space Audits, I think, is where he chimed in and mentioned that, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. And again, that's tentative, but the channel is Modern Day Debate. And the only thing when I heard that, I'm thinking it's almost like a continuation of the final experiment in that narrative. It kind of smacks of that a little bit. But I just didn't hear you mention it, and I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like I say, once again, this is tentative. He wasn't talking about, but he did state this channel, and he didn't seem like he was taking it off the table. So, just so you're aware.
Okay, well, thanks for that. I did not know.
Have a good week, everybody.
Yep. So that's interesting. So no date set yet, but he's agreed to do it. Austin versus Jaren in a debate. That's going to be hilarious because Austin is a way better debater than Jaren. Jaren is not the best debater. Austin was surprised and said Jaren said he never would debate Austin, then MTV said Jaren already agreed. Well, that'll be fun to watch. I'd watch it. How about they were just brought to a place we were not supposed to be able to explain, now they just have muddied the waters with insanity? I don't know about all that. Need more info and resources, yeah. The final excrement. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, he shouldn't. If he's debating for, against Jaren and all the stuff that Jaren's been doing, he shouldn't. He should just, no matter what. You know, no matter what, there should be no kid gloves. That was an interesting call. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, I guess that guy thinks they got magnetized. But, I mean, well, let's see. It's already been 3 months, too, so what if they did get magnetized and they already reverted back by being over here in a normal area? What if that went away? Because when you temporarily magnetize something, that magnetism goes away. You know, if the thing that you magnetized doesn't have the proper alignment of molecularly, it's not going to hold that field indefinitely. That's why, like, they call those rare earth permanent magnets, you know, neodymium rare earth permanent magnets, because you can't demagnetize it unless you melt it down and mess up all the molecules. You can temporarily magnetize certain metals by exposing them to a magnetic field, but that fades away. So, I mean, really, I feel like even if that was a thing, that might even already be gone by now. But that's just my opinion. I could also be wrong. Andrew Wilson. You know who's trying to debate Andrew Wilson is Ben. But Ben Balderson has Andrew Wilson hiding from him. It's kind of funny, actually. If you follow Ben on Twitter, he's been trying to debate that Andrew Wilson guy for a while. And apparently the Andrew Wilson guy agreed to debate Ben, but then like hasn't ever done it, or just has been like avoiding it at all costs, which is hilarious to me because that guy acts like he's like the ultimate debater, but then he doesn't want to debate Ben. It's pretty funny, actually. We are past the point of kid gloves with all the weird behaviors. I would agree with you, Earth first, space later. I agree. Chicken shit only wants to debate OnlyFans girls. Yeah, see, Tony knows. He'd probably hide from Austin, too. Lindsay Harris talks of magnets a lot, as does Ken Wheeler. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I feel like that Lindsay guy kind of does see the flat earth kind of the same way that most of us do. It's just like he's developed his own vocabulary for it, you know? And then I also don't like how he calls other people plagiarists. Motherfucker, you don't have a copyright on earth models. Nobody's plagiarizing you, especially because they're not using the same words as you. And how can that be? Maybe we just all have the same understanding of the earth. But then he acts very arrogant and he's like, oh, these people ignore me and they plagiarize on my work, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's plagiarizing you. I hardly even watched any of his videos. I don't know if he's accused me of plagiarizing, probably not. But it's like, come on, buddy. You don't own the rights to Earth realm science, right? Nobody's plagiarizing you because most people can't even understand what you're freaking talking about. You're just confusing people a lot of the time. But then, like, I'll watch some of what he's doing. I'm like, well, he kind of gets it, but not really. You know, I don't know. And I also don't agree that the stars are a reflection. Like, he thinks that the southern star trails are an exact reflection of the north, but they're not. It's objectively not the same stars reverted. Like, if that was the case, you'd be able to take two star maps and lay them on top of each other, like of the north hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and if you flipped one, they would match exactly. That doesn't happen. That does not happen. So, I don't even think he's got it all right. And a lot of people, like, swear by this dude. Well, he might be explaining some things, but he's not explaining everything. He doesn't have everything right. Nobody has everything right. And you guys really need to stop putting so much stock into people. Like, seriously. Stop. Unless he's changed the core of his model. Let Wilson be the thing that's gender confused debate each other. Wilson and the thing that's gender confused. Oh my god. I think we are looking at it 90 degrees off. Somebody else was saying, what if north and south are up and down? But I think Ben was thinking that east and west was actually up and down. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. Jaren's last stream, he was being groomed by Ruhif. Oh god. They have mirror galaxies? No, I don't think it. No. I think he means they are reversed but expanded out larger in the south. Well, whatever it is, it's not reversed. I just don't think so. It doesn't look like that. People have been proposing that the southern star field is a reflection of the northern star field since Flat Earth got popular 10 years ago. This is not a new idea. It's not a new idea, okay? And so it's not something that I've not even looked into. So for me, they're not a reflection. It's just not. There's the southern circumpolar lights, and then there's the northern circumpolar lights. That's it. They're not the same to me. Because if they were, it just doesn't even make sense. It just doesn't. The Raging Tomato. I think Polaris and Sigma are the sides, not top and bottom. Everything expands in the south sky. Does it? How so? Apparently, Sigma is real. It's just very, very faint and extremely hard to see. So, to me, it's like, when was that even... Some of these fainter stars weren't even discovered until much later in time because they're so faint. They had to improve their telescopes, their optics. Well, that's interesting. I actually enjoy a number of his positions and generally agree on his worldview. Yeah, it's funny. So why is he running? All right, quick break. I'll be right back. And I'm back. One of the chat messages was taken off. I don't see where that was happened. Anyway.
I have a book called
So I wanted to discuss something that did anybody watch? Did any of you watch this? Let's see. This. The final experiment with this Stephen Alonso person. Did any of you watch that? Karen, you tagged me in some new uploads. Have a look. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Did anybody watch this? Anybody in chat? Watch this.
Welcome everyone. We are live.
Makes perfect sense
With
on
this
Flat
guy.
Earth. So I founded the Flat Earth University.
Wait, why is he wearing a TFE shirt? What is this? Oh, Tony. What is this disaster? After watching this, I just want to know how many of you think this guy's a grifter. I was busy watching the THC Love with Mike. Because, check this out. Well, this guy says something in here that,
I have a book called
why is this not working? Anyway, watch this.
I have a book called The Bun in His Oven. It's about male pregnancy. As a lot of you guys don't know, men have to go through pregnancy, and we often aren't appreciated for the struggle that we have. So I wrote a book about me as a man, the tale of male maternity. Let's also take a look. Oh, and just so you know, these are actual books. You didn't want to click it to show them it because you know it would disprove your argument. But I am an author with several books. Let me see if I can expand this. So I also wrote one called The Encyclopedia of Woke. I have about 10 different books. So you might not want to click where it says Stephen Alonso at the top.
10 different books. So here, I went and I looked, and this is actually a thing that this guy has. A Bun in His Oven, A Tale of Male Maternity, a social construct deconstructed by Stephen Alonso, they, them. What is this garbage? What is this shit? Crossing cultures, embracing identity. Let's see. This guy writes these, he's got these weird books that he writes, right? Orange Menace, Unmasking the Racist, Misogynistic, and Xenophobic Nightmare of Trump's America by Stephen Alonso, they, them. And you know what? He's got different profiles on Amazon as an author. Wait, here. Flight to Truth, A Pilot's Journey to Flat Earth. Like, what is this? Is this guy trying to say he's a pilot? I thought he was a computer programmer. And he's got this fake picture of himself in a pilot suit. This guy is a grifter. He's literally a grifter. And then he takes and makes that stupid flat earth, the textbook, the science textbook that he's selling for $180 a pop. $180 for this garbage. And like, we're just sitting here talking about how we may not ever know how the luminaries work. You know, this guy in this book, he tells you that the only way that dielectrics or electrostatics can work is if Earth is an infinite plane. He doesn't know that. You don't have to have an infinitely large surface for dielectrics to create an up and down on an inertial plane. What kind of bullshit is that? I'm sorry, but this guy is full of shit. And you guys need to quit putting stock in people like this. Seriously. Big time LARP. Yes. Yeah. How many have been sold at $180? I have no idea. It doesn't even give you, you can't even look into it. Welcome to the Flat Earth Science. A comprehensive academic resource is continued for senior level flat earth researchers who seek a deeper understanding of geocentric cosmology and the flat earth perspective. Yeah, whatever. Oh, does it say about gravity? How far does it let you look at? It goes to the end. Look at this guy with this cheesy ass picture of himself. Is this guy fucking for real? Look at him just looking so contemplatively at the globe. Oh. Yeah, so this guy just comes and puts himself out here as like the fucking authority on flat earth cosmology, puts out a book, charges $180 a pop for this bullshit book. Meanwhile, he's writing books. See, and look, it even says Dr. Stephen Alonso. You see how this is a different author profile, right? It's not even the they them. This is different than the they them profile. See, because over here it says by Stephen Alonso, they, them. So it's a different author title. So there's Stephen Alonso, they, them. What the fuck? And then I think there was a Dr. Stephen Alonso. Dr. Stephen Alonso, regular Stephen Alonso, and then Stephen Alonso, they, them. So here's Dr. Stephen Alonso, which actually goes back to the Stephen Alonso one. Okay, so those are kind of tied together. But the separate one, the they, them one is separate. It doesn't come up in the same search with his weird, whatever these are supposed to be about. Crossing cultures. Once upon a time in a small town in America, there lived a young man named James. James had always been captivated by Korean culture, from its rich history and traditions of modern K-pop, blah, blah, blah. As he dove deeper into this world, he began to feel a connection that transcended mere interest. The more he learned, the more James felt an inexplicable pull toward not only the culture, but also a new identity. So what is this? About a dude who identifies as Asian? As time passed, James came to realize that he identified as a Korean girl named Ji-yeon. You guys. This is the guy that's putting out flat earth cosmology books and being interviewed by a bunch of flat earth channels and being touted as having a flat earth model. What the fuck? What the fuck? Seriously. You guys, I keep saying this. This community is so ripe for the pickings by grifters because people are so hungry for information and they're so eager to learn. They do not even take the time to double check the sources from which they are learning from. And you got this guy writing bullshit cosmology books about flat earth. And then everybody embraces it. They're like, oh yes, look at Stephen Alonso's model. He predicted the eclipses. He predicts the 24-hour sun. Hey, newsflash, geniuses. Nobody predicts shit. Flat Earth doesn't predict anything. Globe Earth doesn't predict anything. Nobody predicts shit. Everybody uses the canons, the ephemerides, which are observations over hundreds and hundreds of years where the cycles and patterns of the luminaries are meticulously documented and shown to be repeating cycles that repeat over time. Sorrow cycles. Come on. Come on. You guys really need to stop putting stock in these grifters. The guy writes books about a guy named James who identifies as a Korean girl named Ji Yeon. What is going on here? My worst nightmare. It just goes to show you that anybody can write a book. Once I read Martin Liedtke's book, I was like, anybody, anywhere can publish any shit, anytime. Just slap a fiction title on it, a fiction moniker on it or whatever, and publish it and say any kind of shit they want to say no matter what. And then everybody thinks that just because it's in book form, that there's some validity to it. Well, guess what? There fucking isn't. Oh my God, discernment is so important, people. Discernment. Discernment. Ask these questions. You know, look into these people. What is their history? What is their education? Why are you here now doing that? Why did you come from nowhere? Oh, you didn't come from nowhere. You've been grifting like all kinds of other sort of subject matters for a while, apparently. I want to throw up. I literally want to throw up. Duke Nukem, I told you not to waste your money on that book. Who bought it? Who bought that bullshit? Looking for truth in all the wrong places, yeah. Who is here looking for truth? This is pure entertainment. Well, that's the problem. Some people consider it entertainment and other people actually care about truth. And the two are intermixed quite a bit. Feels like Steve Alonso wants to get on the payroll of the big club. Well, he wants to cash in, he wants to extract money from flat earthers. He's grifting flat earthers. You can see people are looking for answers. And of course, the TFE, the final experiment, and dropping a big freaking hand grenade inside the community and blowing everything to smithereens. A bunch of people came around out of the fucking woodwork and started getting popular because they just saw. They took the opportunity to harvest the mixed up people who were just losing their shit over everything that's gone on. I mean, it's a classic grift. $10 for 18 organic eggs in the market. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm glad my chicken started laying eggs. Just in time. Just in time. I have flight simulators. So anyway, you guys should share that around about this guy. I mean, this guy is a grifter. Look at this bullshit. This pilot's journey to flat Earth. Bullshit. He's not a pilot. And then he goes on Will Duffy's channel wearing his fucking shirt. What is that? He's a fan? You fan? Yeah, I bet you're a fan because this guy gave you the opportunity to come in with your grift and start trying to rip off a bunch of flat earthers with your hokey nonsense. No, Valley Parks, you're not invisible. Are we going to discuss the new Mercedes? I don't know. I didn't watch this whole video. I just saw that little clip, and then I went on Amazon and I started looking through that guy's profiles and books and shit. Yeah, what a fucking joke. And I'm just gonna say that my bullshit detector has been spot on. I was right. Before I even knew anything about this dude, I was calling shenanigans, and now I feel pretty vindicated. I was right. I was right. My bullshit detector is honed finer than the sharpest katana blade in Japan, goddammit. My birds are laying like mad. Yeah. My birds started laying now. All four of the hens are laying now. It's great. I love it. Makes me angry. Yeah, man. Listen. I can't stand watching people take advantage of other people, right? So, like, to me, when I see these people pushing their crap ideas, or crap books, their crap theories, crap, I have to say something. And I bet, a lot of people don't like it. And it's made me sort of like, maybe not the most popular person among other content creators in Flat Earth. Oh well. Oh well. His mannerisms are really unnecessarily emphatic because he's probably acting. He's putting on a freaking charade. Yeah, and nobody that I've shown that to in the background can defend any of that shit, too, by the way. Nobody can defend his books about somebody, a man named James identifying as a young Korean girl, or the male maternity book by they, them. What kind of fucking nonsense? Seriously. And that's the person that everybody's going to go to for answers about Flat Earth. You guys, please, wake TF up. Stop falling for these grifters. Stop falling for these freaking liars, scammers. Don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. Look, there's not going to be anything in that book that is going to be groundbreaking information. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Nothing is in there that we don't already know or have already talked about. That guy just ripped off everybody, all the stuff that's already been talked about over the last 10 years and put it in a book and charged $180 for it. So, anyway, alright. Henry got beat up yesterday for kicking me in the head. Oh my god. Who wants to see Ben box a peacock? I'm not gonna lie, I might want to watch that. So, anyway. The way Alonzo has presented himself is not deserving of our trust. No! The guy's only been around like the past few months. It should take way longer than that to gain the trust of somebody like that. Way longer! Well, you guys don't need it. If you guys have been here long enough, you don't need that book. And there's plenty of other books that were written by more genuine people, so... That's so funny, Ben. Oh my god. Alright, you guys. Well, let's see. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. It's 1:30. I really gotta get going. I gotta go check on critters and, get stuff going. Oh, look at this! Look at this, you guys. Let's do this. I'll do a Q&A on my channel. Send your burning question to my email. I'm getting bombarded with questions and I want to address them all in an organized fashion. I'm being asked the same things over and over again. What's being a con man and nobody believes you? Founders and the old... the anger and frustration should be pointed at the founders and old team of the Token Project. We've tried to dissuade them to stop charging the protocol so much that it would turn investors off. Now we know the value of an immutable smart contract like Hex, don't we? I'm super frustrated. People are calling Axion a scam or a rug pull. Well, that's what happened. It's working perfectly as designed, and the current team has not messed with the smart contract other than to start up Bitcoin rewards again for staking. And the team is working on a DAO from what we understand. They're being totally transparent, hoping to gain interest again over the next few years. Hope they do. Well, we'll see. I mean, that's what I mean, I don't really know what you expect when you get into a copycat project like that. I mean, it was basically a copycat Hex project. All right, well, I guess Paul's going to do a live Q&A Friday, the March 14th. That'll be interesting. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go get my responsibilities taken care of and all that good stuff, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed the show, and, you know, I'm around. I'll be back. I'll be back later I'll be back for another rant next Monday, maybe somewhere in between. I'm working on stuff in the background. I've got my project that I'm putting together a studio here in my house, so I've got a lot of things going on in the background that you aren't going to really see the results of quite immediately, but I am working on stuff in the background, and so I hope that you'll all be here when those things come to fruition. So I appreciate everybody's support, and I appreciate you watching my streams, and yeah. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all later. You can send physical mail to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. You can also follow me on Ko-Fi.com, and if you enjoy my shows and want to send me a tip, anything and everything is greatly appreciated, and thank you. And it's official. Flat Earth Festivals has been retired. It was great fun while it lasted, and I hope you all cherish the memories we made at Flattoberfest as much as I do, and it was a pleasure to watch so many online friendships become in real life friendships over the years. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.